On day 1, I spawned in as a fire spider. Oh cool, I got 8 legs and 4 hearts. But whoa, I'm not a regular spider. I'm a fire spider. That means I have to avoid water no matter what. I should probably look around. I started testing out my new abilities. I can jump high, run super fast, and climb up walls. Woohoo! Just as I was jumping from tree to tree, a swarm of tarantula hawks started to attack. Ah, where did you come from? Quickly, I jumped off of the tree and started running away. But these guys were fast. They even took out some of my hearts. Ouch, I need those! Realizing that I couldn't outrun these guys forever, I decided I needed to fight. I wonder if I have something that could help me fight these tarantula hawks. Just then, I looked into my inventory and saw I had an item, Web Shot. Throw at your enemies to attack or stun them. This should work. Quickly, I put this ability into effect and started throwing webs at the tarantula hawks. Whoa, this is awesome! I managed to bring down several of the tarantula hawks with my Web Shot until there was only one left. He quickly fled before I could take him down. Ha! And stay out, you flying fiend! I proceeded to look around a little more before I decided to call it a night. On day 2, I woke up hungry and decided to make my first web. I placed it in the tree and waited. Soon, I caught a fly. Tasty. Then I went and took a look around. I stumbled upon a hole in the ground and decided to check it out. Maybe I can find some more fire spiders here. Well, I couldn't find any more fire spiders. I managed to find some stone, but I couldn't mine it because it required tools. I better go get some resources. Just as I was about to leave, a bunch of badgers started to attack. Ah, hey, what's the big deal? These guys were tough, but I managed to fling web shots at them and managed to defeat them. They dropped some loot in the process. I picked up a stone pickaxe and sword. Oh, these will come in handy. With the pickaxe, I mined the stone and even found some iron that I could use for later. Wow, this hole is great! After checking to make sure there were no more badgers, I decided to set up camp in the hole. After clearing out some space, I set up a little place for myself, and even started to build other houses, just in case some more spiders were to come. On day 3, I climbed out of the hole and started gathering wood from the surrounding trees. Just as I was about to bring down one of the trees, I heard a noise.
Hey, stop that down there!
Suddenly, a pigeon flew down from the top.
What do you think you are doing?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know anyone was living in this tree.
Well, there is. You can't just go around destroying everything you see like some kind of barbarian.
I didn't mean any harm, I promise. He sighed.
Just be careful next time.
Just as the pigeon was talking, a falcon came out of nowhere and started to attack.
Oh no, not this guy. You better run, little fire spider.
Instead, I used my web to attack the falcon and knock him out of the sky.
Oh, thank you so much. That falcon has been attacking me and my friends for a long time.
You're most welcome. I'm always looking for ways I can help. Why was he attacking you?
He is a servant of the Lizard King, the evil ruler who enslaves animals with fear.
Oh no, that's terrible. This Lizard King sounds like he's a real handful to deal with.
My name is Percy, and I would be happy to help you with anything you need.
Thank you, I could use help. You know, I have a place that you and your friends can stay to keep away from falcons. It's underground and I'm still building it. Would you like to come?
Most of the time, pigeons don't like living underground, but that sounds like the safe idea.
On days 4 and 5, I helped Percy put together some houses for him and his friends.
This place is going to look great, Zozo. A safe haven away from the Lizard King.
You're right. I'm gonna have to see if I can get more critters out of danger. I also don't know where any fire spiders are.
Well, in the meantime, I will stay here and continue working. Before you go, I wanted to give you this.
Percy gave me some iron armor and a sword, made from the iron I had found earlier.
I thought it best for your journey. Take care, my fiery spider friend.
Thanks, Percy. I will return. Soon I was off to find the Lizard King, when all of a sudden, the tarantula hawk I fought on the first day returned with even more of his friends.
We shall have our revenge on you.
They all started swarming me with their stingers. Ouch, leave me alone! With the new sword, I managed to defeat most of the tarantula hawks, but the main tarantula hawk was heading right for me.
I will defeat you and take you to the Lizard King myself.
He was tougher to beat than the other tarantula hawks. I even took some damage from him. You may be strong, but I won't be defeated. Dodging his blows with my speed and jumping ability, I kept on striking him until at last he was defeated. As he disappeared, he dropped some bronze armor as well as a beaker of poison. If I'm going to come in contact with any more of the Lizard King's minions, I'm gonna need this. On days 6 through 8, I continued my journey to find the Lizard King. Along the way, I managed to find a village. Hello, anyone here? I went through all the buildings, gathering supplies where I could find them, but could not find anyone. How could an entire village just vanish like this? I started hearing what sounded like voices from one of the center buildings. Maybe there are some villagers still here. After following the voices, I discovered who was in the building. It was the Lizard King. He had on a huge crown and had big red eyes. Yikes, those are gonna haunt my nightmares. Gathering up what courage I had, I charged towards the Lizard King. Hey, why are you being so cruel to all the creatures of this land? They just want to live peaceful lives, free from bullies like you. The Lizard King looked at me with those red eyes.
The tiny fire spider who defeated my tarantula hawks. You will pay for your actions. Attack!
Then all of a sudden, the floor started shaking, and from out of the ground spawned a giant desert centipede. Uh-oh, this could be bad. The centipede was strong, it had over 20 hearts, and it was quick. It's a good thing I could jump and climb, or this thing would surely take me out. Then I remembered I had the beaker of poison and prepared to use it on the centipede. Just as I was about to use it, the centipede attacked and knocked the beaker out of my hand, shattering on the floor. Oh no! The centipede grabbed onto me, shaking me around with his mandibles and shaking the hearts out of me. This is not good. Just as I was about to lose my last heart, the Lizard King commanded he let me go.
That's enough. I still need subjects to rule. You really thought you could defeat me? Ha! Come back again when you are worthy.
That fight did a lot of damage to me, and all of a sudden, I blacked out. On days 9 and 10, I awoke to a different location. It looked like one of the houses in the village, only it was really damaged and there were webs on the walls. Ah, spiders! Oh, wait, I'm a spider too. I climbed around the damaged house to see if any more spiders were around. Hello? Any other spiders around here? Regular or fire type? Any will do. Or anyone? Preferably ones who don't want to squish me? I looked around a little more, and eventually I spotted what appeared to be a small, normal spider. Hey, where am I?
Oh good, you're awake. It's good to see you up.
Where's the Lizard King? Where's the centipede?
You fought the Lizard King and his centipede? It's a miracle you're still alive. When I found you, they were both gone. I was really worried you weren't going to wake up, but couldn't not help a spider in need. We brought you here to look after you.
We? Who's we?
Well, me and my brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters? There's more of you?
Oh yes, at least 700. We live in dark, shadowy areas near here, under the protection of Daddy Longlegs. Would you like to meet him?
Sure. Oh, and what's your name?
Marcy. I'm a jumping spider.
Indeed. Lead the way, Marcy. On days 11 to 12, Marcy led me to a secret passageway where we climbed down into a dark hall. Through the hall, we came upon the cave of Daddy Longlegs. It was surrounded by several different spiders of all different types and sizes.
Daddy Longlegs, here's the fire spider who fought the centipede. He is healed and wishes to meet with you.
Proceed, good spider.
I am Zozo, and I come to help fight against the evil of the Lizard King.
You are indeed brave, Zozo, but I am afraid the Lizard King cannot be defeated.
What do you mean? How can he not be defeated?
He controls the predators of the animal kingdom, forcing us spiders to live underground. Any attempt we have tried to fight against him, he takes out numbers of us. I'm afraid it's too risky for our survival.
I understand your concern, Daddy Longlegs, but we cannot keep living in fear. Someone has to do something. If nobody else will, then I will. But I know together we can do better, be stronger. Some of us might be squashed in a moment, but surely he can't stop all of us. Then I could hear Marcy cheering from the back.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Her cheering led to all the other spiders starting to cheer as well. Huzzah! Daddy Longlegs looked convinced and agreed to help me.
All right, Zozo, you have made your point. I will send some spiders to help you on your journey. Perhaps we truly can defeat the Lizard King.
3 spiders volunteered to help me on my quest. First was Taylor, a massive tarantula.
Yeah, dude.
Then there was Bruno, an orb-weaving spider.
Do you need a web? I got a web. It's a nice web. Did I tell you about my web?
This guy really likes his web.
Yeah, man.
Finally, there was Scarlet. She was a black widow.
I can turn anyone's life into a tragedy.
Well, I hope that will come in handy for us. Nice to meet all of you. Together, let's take this guy down. On days 13 to 15, we arrived back at my hole base. I didn't know how Percy and his friends were going to take there being more spiders, so I proceeded with caution.
Hello, Zozo.
Hey, Percy. Wow, you got a lot of work done. This base is looking even better than I thought it could.
Thanks. I managed to convince some other birds and animals to come make this their new home.
You've done great. Hey, I wanted to tell you something.
Sure, what is... Oh, more spiders! What are these animals doing here?
They look tasty to me. Yeah, dude.
Before this tension was to become a battle, I had to calm down both sides. Listen, in order for us to defeat the Lizard King, we must stay strong together, no matter what species we are. Also, no eating the birds.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
After that was over, I managed to get everyone working together to create a giant statue of our hero. I hoped it could be seen as a symbol of justice and goodness for all walks of life. Can you tell what we're building? On days 16 to 19, I got a chance to meet all the new members of the base. Hey, how are you? Good to see ya. Welcome. I even ran into some unexpected guests. Oh no, the badgers again.
Wait, we're sorry for attacking you earlier. We just didn't have any other place to go. We saw how you built this place, and your friend Percy said it was okay for us to stay.
So wait, we're all on the same team?
Yep, we're also really sorry for attacking you earlier.
It's all right. I guess I can understand you being scared of someone trying to harm you. Welcome to the base. I have said that no matter our differences, we've got to work together to defeat the Lizard King.
Thank you.
Just as I was going around meeting new people, I saw Marcy run in looking for me.
I am delivering gifts for you for your journey. These are from Daddy Longlegs.
Marcy presented me with a new silver armor and sword with a special ability, Poisonous Attack. What would I do without you and Daddy Longlegs? This will be great for my journey. Thanks, Marcy.
You're welcome. Say, this place is pretty nice. Do you think I can tell the other spiders about it?
Sure, it's not quite finished though, but maybe when I'm done you guys can come see it. There's a lot of you, so I've got to make sure everyone is really impressed.
Deal.
On days 20 to 22, Taylor, Bruno, Scarlet, and I were off to catch the Lizard King. On the road, Scarlet spotted some signs up ahead.
We should be careful. It looks like we are entering into the realm of the ants.
Ants? Are they dangerous?
They attack in numbers and can overwhelm any creature bigger than they are.
Even someone like Taylor?
Yeah, dude.
Well, then we will definitely be cautious. I can't imagine anything worse than being dogpiled by a bunch of creepy crawlers. We scoured around for a bit, when all of a sudden a giant zombie praying mantis arose from under the ground. Gosh, he must have been attacked by the ants. Those guys are vicious.
Yeah, now we gotta put him out of his misery.
Bruno started making a web net to trap the praying mantis in, and Taylor threw it over to the mantis, trapping him.
I think we got him.
Just then, the mantis started tearing his way through the web net. Don't worry, guys, I got this. I jumped toward the praying mantis and started using my new sword. Say your prayers now, mantis. Within a few strikes, he was finally defeated, and I felt something inside me start to change. I increased in size and even had more hearts. My attacks felt stronger too, infused with even more fiery goodness. On days 23 to 26, we finally got to the anthill. We need to be cautious. The ants could attack if we are spotted. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not interested in becoming a zombie fire spider today. Just then, a fireball flew overhead. It was the ant guards, and they were shooting at us with trebuchets. Oh, talk about fire ants! All of a sudden, Bruno started working on what appeared to be a giant slingshot. Oh, great idea! Scarlet had some TNT, as well as some flint and steel. We decided that would work perfectly for returning fire.
Bombs away.
We took out the trebuchet and sent the ants running into their hill. Way to go, team! On days 27 to 31, we decided to go inside the hill. Wow, these guys have been busy. Inside, we found a lot of cool items that I could use for the compound and the statue. Glowstones, I can use these. As we journeyed deeper into the caves, we saw a hidden message on the wall. Subscribe? That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
A little further, and we began to see what appeared to be a story by the ants.
Apparently, the Queen Ant was tricked by the Lizard King, and now he has a puppet queen acting for him.
That's terrible. These ants should not be under the control of a puppet ruler. We need to do something. All of a sudden, something occurred. Ants began to crawl out from the walls. Get back! I mean it! No matter how hard we fought, the ants were too numerous, and they captured us. On days 32 to 35, the ants led us to the deeper parts of the anthill. Where are you taking us? I kept trying to talk to them, but they would not respond. It was as if something was wrong with them completely. Hello, can you hear me? Eventually, we came to what I suppose is their throne room. The queen ant sat there looking sinister.
Spiders? How disgusting! You will make a fine specimen for the Lizard King. Though my children and I are getting hungry.
I'm getting pretty tired of creatures telling me they want to eat me. How about I give you something to eat instead? I looked up and I could see what looked like a chandelier made of glowstones. I fired a web shot at it and the whole thing started to come crashing down.
No, not the chandelier!
I fell hard onto the queen ant, squishing her.
Whoa, what a way to go.
On days 36 to 39, we began leaving the hill. The hill was even bigger than I remembered, as we wove through many different hallways. We got lost more than once. Man, how could one place look the same at every turn? When we finally decided on a place to go, more ants came toward us. If we couldn't get out, we'd be in real trouble. Stay back, we're armed!
Well, technically legged.
No, please don't hurt us, and we don't want to hurt you.
Okay, well then what is it you do want?
We are servants of the true Queen Ant. When you defeated the other queen, we finally freed her, and she wanted to thank you.
Well, that's very nice of her. I'm glad she's back on her throne.
Feel free to come back anytime. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I did have one question. How do we get out?
Oh, right. You go up, make a left, and climb out of the big hole in the top.
Okay, that seems simple enough. Thanks.
No problem. You can climb, right?
Spider.
Oh, right.
On days 40 to 43, we thought it would be best to get back to the compound and put these glowstones to good use. Percy was doing a great job building places for the new creatures finding out about this place.
If there is one thing we birds know, it is how to make a nest to come home to.
You're doing great, Percy. I also thought these could come in handy.
Glowstones, excellent. It was starting to look a little dark here.
Right away, we got to work using the glowstones to create light fixtures around the compound. I also made sure that these were built strong enough so that no one could get hurt if they were damaged.
The last thing we'd want is for there to be another queen ant situation. No one likes to get smushed.
When a spider builds something, it is made to last.
Also, when birds, badgers, and other wildlife chip in on the building, it definitely helps in the long run. On days 44 to 50, I continued working on the statue. I'm really excited about this one and feel like it's coming along really well. Can you tell what the statue is yet?
All of a sudden, I could see a little jumping creature appearing in the horizon. Marcy, it's good to see you.
Oh, Zozo, I'm glad I found you. I have terrible news.
Oh no, what's the problem?
The Lizard King attacked the spider base with an army of scorpions.
Scorpions? Really?
Yes, they are one of our biggest enemies.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I really didn't think he'd be bold enough to take on the entire spider nest at one time. I'm sorry I couldn't have stopped him from doing this.
So am I. I wanted to tell you so you won't have to have the same fate. Now we have nowhere safe.
Wait a minute, why don't you all come live at my base?
Wait, really? Are you sure you won't mind all of us living with you?
Of course not. Besides, us spiders need to stick together. Plus, I've got plenty of room here. There's no limit to the amount of houses we can make for everyone.
Ha! I see what you did there. I better go tell the other spiders right now.
Quickly, I got started gathering more materials and supplies to start building for my new neighbors. I took a good long while to gather the stuff and start building, but it was all worth it. On days 51 to 53, all of the spiders arrived. Whoa, there sure are a lot of you. Welcome. Among the spiders appeared Daddy Longlegs, and I went over to greet him. Hi, Daddy Longlegs. I'm glad to see you're all right. You're all welcome here.
Thank you, Zozo, for doing this. You have given the spiders and many others hope.
It was my pleasure. The spiders sure are honored and lucky to have a protector like you.
Oh no, Zozo. I may have been their protector before, but you are their protector now. However, if you need advice, I will always be around.
I will definitely appreciate that. I know you've seen a lot of spiders in your day. I'd never be able to lead anyone as well as you have. Afterwards, I introduced Daddy Longlegs and the other spiders to the rest of the compound. They got along pretty well. I love seeing everyone so happy to make new friends.
On days 54 to 57, the whole compound got together to start building walls so no intruders could come in. When most of the building was completed, we decided we should celebrate the new compound community. Daddy Longlegs prepared to give a speech.
I am truly thankful that we can all live in harmony, thanks to our magnificent friend, Zozo.
Oh, guys, I appreciate that. While Daddy Longlegs kept speaking, no one noticed a group of scorpions sneaking up behind him. Daddy Longlegs, look out! But he didn't hear me, and one of the scorpions stabbed him in the back with a stinger.
Oh no, Daddy Longlegs!
The spiders began attacking the scorpions while I tried to lead Daddy Longlegs to safety. Just stay here, you're gonna be fine.
No, Zozo, it's time for me to go.
What? You can't go, it's not over yet.
It's okay, Zozo. Take care of them all for me.
I will. I stayed with Daddy Longlegs until the end. When I checked back, the spiders won the battle. Sadly, it was up to me to share the sad news. On days 58 to 62, the whole compound worked together to build a memorial for Daddy Longlegs. Rest in peace, Daddy Longlegs. You will be missed by us all. I promise I will do what needs to be done. While we were sad at the loss of our friend, we all realized we needed better fortifications. We spent a good portion of the days building up the walls and putting up watchtowers.
I was so embarrassed that we were attacked when we thought we were safe.
They should protect us, but I just wish I could have done more.
Don't go blaming yourself, Zozo. Nobody could have guessed what was going to happen.
To take my mind off of all of this, I went back to finish the statue. Maybe this could give us some more hope. Now can you tell who our spider hero is? It's the most famous web slinger of all time, Spider-Man, of course. Just as I completed it, Scarlet showed up and told me a messenger came to see me. We ran to the gate to see it was the ant from the anthill. Hello, what are you doing here?
We heard about your attack. We are sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It has been hard for a lot of us.
Our queen wanted to give you something for your loss, as well as your fight against the Lizard King.
The ant handed over a wrapped gift and told me to use it wisely. I couldn't wait to see what it was.
I will definitely treasure this. Thank you, and thank your queen for me.
I shall, and you are most welcome.
On days 63 to 66, I opened the package to reveal a bunch of potions. Inside there was a health upgrade potion. I took it right away, and I gained 8 more hearts. I took a look at the other potions. Stinger Shock can cause your enemy to be paralyzed and allow you to either heal or attack. Boy, if I ever run into that centipede again, I am gonna use this. I met with my friends and told them that this would be my final mission.
Be careful, Zozo.
I will. I promise to return. We have lost too many friends for me to fail.
Good luck, Zozo. Go end this monster, once and for all.
Yeah, dude.
I said goodbye to my friends, and then I was off. All I could do was hope that I would see them again soon.
On day 67 through 70, I journeyed off to find the palace of the Lizard King. I first traveled toward the abandoned village where I first fought the centipede. I don't see him anywhere here. While I continued to look around, I spotted what appeared to be an ancient door. I wonder how long this has been here for. There was an inscription on the door that looked a little faded. I will with water when it rains. When sunlight comes, the water drains. To climb me is to achieve great gains. I quickly realized that it was a riddle and began putting it together. I got it! A water spout! The answer is a water spout! With this proclamation of the answer, the door cracked open to reveal a chest inside. I opened the box to show a full set of diamond armor and sword. I quickly put them to good use. Yeah, dude. I think I've been hanging out with Taylor a bit too much. On day 71 through 74, I traveled into the rainforest. Just as I was scurrying along the ground, a group of howler monkeys started throwing bananas at me. Oh, whoa! At least it's just bananas. One of the monkeys was huge. He must have been their leader. I started throwing web shots at him, trying to knock him out of the tree. You are not defeating me today! I managed to knock several monkeys out of the trees, forcing them to run away. The big monkey was the only one left. You might be strong, but you won't get me. With one last web shot, I knocked the monkey out of the tree and cornered him. Where is the Lizard King? Where is his palace? The big monkey gestured over in a direction. Afterwards, I went off that way. You know, that monkey looked kind of familiar. Nah, it was probably nothing. On day 75 to 78, I journeyed along until I came to a river. Uh-oh, it's my old nemesis, water. The river was way too wide to try and jump, and I didn't want to risk falling in, so I decided to build a bridge. I was halfway finished when out of nowhere, who was to turn up but the scorpions again. You guys, I'll make you pay for what you have done. I readied my sword and prepared to attack. This is for Daddy Longlegs. I charged at the scorpions and they leaped forward to attack me. They were strong, and I could tell they were trying to push me back into the water, but with my new armor, I could hold them off. I'll take you all on if I need to. Then I remembered I had the potion and quickly used it against the scorpions. Take this! The scorpions began to move slower, and I could see their attacks before they could make them. Block, stab, slice, gone! One by one, I took out each of the scorpions. I gathered a new item, Scorpion Tail, used to attack or intimidate enemies. Also, it can be used as a disguise. When all that was over, I continued making my bridge to get across the river. On day 79 to 85, I finally finished my bridge to cross the river. When I got to the other side, I found that the only way ahead was through a narrow ravine, but the entrance was guarded by two scorpions. Man, these guys are everywhere! While I could have attacked them, I remembered that I still had that scorpion tail in my belongings. I quickly put it on and approached them. La 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 la, just a disgusting scorpion out for a stroll. The guards didn't seem to mind and proceeded to let me through. Well, that was easy. While journeying, I wandered into an open field that looked pretty desert-like. Well, this is a weird place to put a desert. All of a sudden, I heard rumbling and could feel the ground shake. I knew right then what it was. Suddenly, the centipede bursted out of the ground, just like last time, and lunged toward me.
It was time to take my revenge.
Bring it on, leggy. That centipede was still fast and dangerous, but I was much more confident this time around. Oh, no you don't. I even used the scorpion tail to make a couple of hits, but it broke in the middle of the fight.
So much for disguising myself again in the future.
Take that, and that! Finally, I took out the potion again and used it for the finishing blows. I'm worthy enough this time. Prepare to be defeated. The potion worked, but the centipede was still quick. Furiously, I used everything I could to finally defeat it. Just then, I started feeling tingly. Ooh, I like this. I changed into a bigger and more powerful fire spider with even more hearts. All right now, Lizard King, prepare to meet your match. On days 86 to 90, I continued on my journey. I was feeling really confident until I realized I had just walked straight into quicksand. Oh, come on, who thinks of quicksand? Suddenly, I started thinking of ways to get out. All of a sudden, I could see Percy flying overhead. Percy, I'm glad you're here.
I can see that. How can I help?
Maybe you can pull me out, catch this chain, and start flying.
Good idea. Hit me.
I threw the line towards Percy and began flying, pulling me out of the quicksand. Oh, that was close. Thanks, Percy. What are you doing here?
I wanted to see how you were. You saved my life so many times before, and I guess I just wanted to repay you in some way.
Well, you definitely did that. If it wasn't for you, I would be in a really sticky situation.
It can get risky at times, wandering around out here on my own.
You are definitely welcome, my friend. I will let the others know of your progress.
Just before he left, Percy warned me about something he saw while flying overhead.
Be careful. I saw what appeared to be a gang of bullfrogs coming in your direction. They must be heading to the palace of the Lizard King.
Bullfrogs, you say? Those things will gobble spiders up in one bite.
I'll be sure to look out for them. Thanks again, Percy. Take care. On days 91 to 94, I finally ran into the bullfrogs.
Wow, those guys are big. I didn't know bullfrogs could get that big.
For the most part, they didn't seem to notice me. That's until one of them apparently spotted me and started shooting his tongue at me. Yuck! I don't need you tasting me.
He was strong though. He even took out a couple of my hearts. If I didn't make a move, I was going to be one toasted bug.
I can't just keep fighting this guy forever. I knew I had to outmaneuver him, so I jumped into a tree and waited for him to get bored.
Luckily, he didn't seem to be the smartest of creatures, even though he was so tough.
Serves you right. I didn't come this far to become a spider snack.
On days 95 to 97, I followed the bullfrogs to the Lizard King's palace. They might have been strong, but they weren't very smart. They led me right to where I needed to go.
Wow, this is gonna be a lot. As I got closer to the gate, I spotted a message written on the palace roof. Subscribe. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Be sure to subscribe and like this video for more content. I go on a lot of adventures and would love to have you follow me on them. I tried to get through the front gate when a horde of gecko soldiers started to attack. Out of my way. I got a king to fight.
I smacked the heck out of them until finally they were all defeated. This guy really loved his amphibians.
On day 98, I ran inside through the palace corridors to find the Lizard King. Wow, this place is pretty ornate for a lizard. Hey, that armor looks kind of familiar. Oh yeah, I almost forgot that I had an adventure as a knight. That was a journey. You guys should definitely go check it out when you are done with this one. Through different rooms, I would occasionally have to battle some of the gecko soldiers. Don't you guys have anything better to do? Despite looking all throughout the palace, I couldn't seem to find the Lizard King anywhere. I was getting disappointed and even losing a little bit of hope. I turned around and I could see what appeared to be the ghost of a long-legged spider. Daddy Longlegs? Is that you?
Yes, Zozo, it is I. I told you that I would always be there to help you. Don't give up. You are so close to the end.
You're right, Daddy Longlegs. I must continue. I'm scared though. I'm just a fire spider and I don't know if I'll defeat the Lizard King.
You may be small, but you have the spirit of a giant spider inside of you, and it's time to let that spirit out. I'm going to grant you the power that made me so big.
Something started to happen. Magic energy filled the room and I felt myself changing once again. I transformed into a gigantic fire spider. I had so many hearts now. Thanks, Daddy Longlegs. On day 99, I finally landed in the throne room. The Lizard King sat on his throne with his big red eyes staring at me.
Well, well, if it isn't the itsy-bitsy fire spider who defeated my minions. Looks like you aren't so small now, but I bet you're still weak. Come to face me at last?
I will do what I must.
Then you will croak.
Just then, he flipped a lever and the bullfrogs I had seen earlier came in. Oh no, not these guys again. Then I remembered I still had the potion and was about to use it when one of the frogs grabbed it with its tongue. Guess I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Using my wall crawling abilities and spider jumps, I dodged attacks from the frogs and gave them some damage. It looked like my attacks were superpowered with fire strength now. Soon, all the frogs were defeated, though I could swear I missed one. Now it's just you and me, Lizard King.
So be it.
He charged toward me with lightning-fast speed, giving me strong blows that did cause some damage.
You should not have fought against me, Spider. I am the Lizard King.
Oh yeah? And how do you taste?
What?
Just then, the lost frog I thought I missed shot his tongue out, grabbed the Lizard King by the tail, and sucked him into his mouth.
No!
I became hesitant because I didn't know how the frog was going to respond. Hey, you're that frog I fought with earlier. I'm sorry for hurting you. Truce? The frog just looked at me, then suddenly spat up the Lizard King's crown. He croaked, then proceeded to hop away. Well, I guess that means truce. On day 100, I returned to the base to see everyone there, waiting for me. I told them all about what happened with the Lizard King.
Wow, I didn't even know frogs could eat lizards.
Neither did I. Guess you learn something new every day.
Zozo, I'm glad you've returned.
Yeah, dude. The Lizard King is defeated. Now we're free.
This would not have been possible without you, Zozo. Thank you, from all of us. Now we can go back to living our lives in peace.
And now we have a new home for spiders of all walks of life. Then there came a commotion at the gate. What's going on over there? Suddenly, a loud croak could be heard.
Frog!
No, wait, I think I know him. Turns out it was the frog from earlier, come by to say hello. I'm glad you could come by. Just one rule, no eating anybody. The frog agreed and I proceeded to introduce him to everyone. This had been quite the adventure.
On day 1, I spawned in as an ice spider, an arachnid as cold as the Arctic reaches. All 8 of my legs are here, but why am I so little? I'm only a baby spider. That's when I realized that I was trapped inside of a magic circle. An evil-looking necromancer stood on the outside, casting a terrible spell.
A spider of ice, it will suffice. So says me, Necromancer Bryce.
Lights swirled all around me, and the entire world shook. But when it stopped, I felt like I was able to move.
Great! I better get out of here while I can! I tried to scurry away, but Bryce the Necromancer blocked my path.
Not so fast there, Ice Spider. Your part to play is done, so now I'll destroy you and complete the spell.
Hey, I have a name, you know. It's Zozo, and I don't like it when people say they're going to destroy me.
Oh, it's nothing personal. That magic spell I just cast is going to destroy the entire world 100 days from now.
What? The entire world? You do realize that doesn't make it better, right?
But it does make it destroyed. The ritual also says that I should sacrifice the ice spider used in the spell for best results.
Well, it's not going to be this ice spider. I'm leaving, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna find a way to counteract your spell. I bolted for it as fast as my 8 legs could carry. Instead of chasing after me, the necromancer Bryce just laughed wickedly to himself.
Easier said than done, my arachnid friend. The world's destruction is close at hand.
On day 2, I managed to get far enough away from the necromancer Bryce that I could take it easy. I looked around in wonder at the glowing ancient forest around me. I also noticed that I had 10 hearts and that my hunger gauge was lowering fast. It looks like running for my life from a destruction-happy evil necromancer really works up an appetite. I searched around until I found a tree that had apples in it for me to take. Then I ate the apples until my hunger meter was full again. Surviving all alone in this world as a baby spider isn't so bad. I'm really getting the hang of it. I wasn't alone for long though, as I saw a couple of skeleton vanguards appear out from between the trees.
There you are, Ice Spider. We shall get rid of you for our master, the necromancer Bryce.
He must really want to sacrifice me if he's sending skeletons to do his bidding. I tried to fend off the skeleton vanguards, but my spider bites didn't have much of an effect on creatures made of bone.
Give up, Spider. The world is doomed, and your sacrifice will seal its fate.
The mobs kept attacking, bringing me down to my last few hearts. I thought I was doomed. But then, an energy blast distracted the skeleton vanguards and made them run away. Out of nowhere, an illusioner appeared. I realized immediately that they must have been the one who cast the spell.
Follow me, little ice spider. I'll take you to my camp. We'll be safer there.
You saved my life, so I guess I can trust you. On day 3, the illusioner took me to his campsite and cast a protective illusion barrier around both of us so that the mobs wouldn't find us. You're pretty good at casting spells, illusioner.
Please, call me Alan. Illusioner Alan.
Okay, Alan, you're pretty good at casting spells.
Thank you for saying that, but unfortunately, there are mages far more powerful than me in the world, and some of them are using their gifts for evil.
You mean like Necromancer Bryce? Is it true that his spell will end the world?
Not if we good mages have anything to say about it.
Soon after, another mage arrived at the campfire. This one was a wind caller with the power to, well, call wind.
I'm Wind Caller Windy. I'm here to see the ice spider.
That's me. I'm Ice Spider Zozo.
Oh, the winds are truly blowing in our favor. You, my amicable arachnid, may be the key to saving the entire world from destruction. Necromancer Bryce's ritual can be stopped by a more powerful spell as long as he doesn't sacrifice an ice spider.
So as long as I'm alive, there's a chance that you mages will be able to stop him.
We'll need your help too. You can battle his henchmen and travel to places which would be too dangerous for us.
You can count on me. I might still be a baby spider, but I won't let the entire world down. From day 4 to day 5, I began to make use of the trees around me to gather wood for a wooden pickaxe. Because my starting area was a forest, it didn't take long to have enough to craft the tool. But wood wouldn't be good for long if I could do better. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe for some stone and quickly upgraded to a stone pickaxe. With the new and improved stone tool, I was able to gather even more stone to use for building and crafting. First, I made a stone sword to defend myself with. Next, I started building a strong shelter where I could stay safe from Necromancer Bryce and his undead minions. Illusioner Alan had chosen to come with me. His illusion spells would help keep me safe while I built the base. Thanks for all your help so far, Alan.
Remember, Zozo, do not rely on magic. It cannot keep every mob away.
I soon understood what he meant when a skeleton appeared and interrupted my building. Good thing I crafted that stone sword. I drew my weapon and brought down the skeleton with a cup of wax. My victory against the skeleton made me stronger and more experienced, and because of that, I grew out of my baby mode into a regular-sized ice spider with 30 hearts. I can shoot ice blasts now. That is more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I was out exploring in the nearby gravelly mountains when I saw a friendly gorilla being attacked by a slime ball.
Get away from me, you slime ball!
The slime ball didn't answer. It just bounced and got slime everywhere. You may be slimy, but this ice spider isn't so helpless anymore. I hit the slime ball with my stone sword over and over. It did a good amount of damage, but I was taking damage the longer I stayed in contact with the slime ball. I retreated back to a safe distance and shot the slime ball with an ice blast. It froze the mob solid, so I was able to get in a few more hits with my stone sword while it was immobilized. I repeated this 2 or 3 times with more ice blasts until the slime ball was defeated. Once the battle was over, the gorilla cheered and ran up to greet me.
Brr, I was cold just watching that, but I'm glad you're on my side.
Of course, I, Ice Spider Zozo, am all about saving others.
You're definitely the nicest ice mob I've met. Say, do you think you could talk to the other one I know and tell him to stop trying to freeze me?
Sure thing, I'll let him know that's not nice.
He's just over here in another part of the mountains.
From day 9 to day 10, the gorilla showed me to the lair of the Icy Creeper, a powerful ice mob that seemed to like to cause trouble. Gorilla seemed worried for me. That's how I knew Icy Creeper would be trouble.
Are you sure you could duck him out of being mean, Zozo?
I can certainly try. I left Gorilla behind and approached the Icy Creeper. His attention was on me immediately, but he didn't speak. It looked like I would need to talk first. Hey, I'm Ice Spider Zozo. I heard you've been trying to freeze the gorilla and they'd like you to stop.
Well, that's very nice, but I'm not gonna. I'll freeze anyone I want.
That's so rude. What did the gorilla ever do to you?
Nothing, but this is a cold world, and I'm one cold, tough customer. If that gorilla doesn't like it, he can go to another mountain.
Don't make me fight you, Icy Creeper.
I'd like to see you try.
I fired my ice blast at the Icy Creeper, but it seemed like he was even colder than me because it barely did any damage. His own ice blast took off a bunch of my hearts. In a battle between ice creatures, I was definitely the loser for now. I ran back to the gorilla, sad that I couldn't defeat the Icy Creeper. I promised Gorilla that I'd let him stay in my base for now and come back to the Gravelly Mountains to defeat Icy Creeper at a later time. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base and began renovating the living space so that the gorilla had a place to live. I used a lot of stone bricks so it wouldn't be too different from the mountain he had left behind. Once I had built the room, I went to see the gorilla and showed him where he could stay.
Thanks for letting me stay here, Zozo. I thought you could use some more storage space, so I did a bit of building on my own.
It turned out that the gorilla really had built a room that was perfect for storing extra items. He also built a furnace that would heat up the room where he and the mages would be staying. Oh yeah, I guess you guys need to stay warm. Either way, that's very impressive work.
I call it the home away from home. Oh, I hope I get to see the mountains again before the world ends.
It's not going to end. I'll stop it.
I hope so. That necromancer Bryce has been plotting world destruction for a long time, actually. He's tried all sorts of spells to do it, and they've never worked. This one might, though, and the idea of that is really scary.
It did sound scary, and I wasted no time getting better materials to help defend myself in case Bryce showed up. Down in the mining area of the base, I went digging for some iron to upgrade my tools. I found some iron ore, which I smelted into iron ingots, then crafted into an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Back on the surface, I tamed some sheep from the nearby glowing ancient forest and built a farm for them. If that furnace fails, there's always wool sweaters. From day 13 to day 15, I sought out Illusioner Alan for some more advice on how to complete Necromancer Bryce's challenge. I want to save the world as soon as I can, Alan. Is the spell ready yet?
If only magic were that simple, Zozo. The truth is that Bryce's destruction spell is linked to you now. The only way to weaken it is for you to become stronger.
How do I do that?
When you defeated Bryce's skeleton henchman before, some of the spell's magic transferred into you. If you could defeat a more powerful one, it could happen again.
I went back to the Gravelly Mountains in the hopes of finding another undead mob to fight. Come and get me! I don't fear you, skeletons! As if answering my call to battle, a skeleton vanguard came charging across the mountain terrain towards me.
Spider of Ice! Spider of Ice! The time has come for sacrifice!
I hit the advancing skeleton vanguard with an ice blast, which slowed the undead down. I was able to hit him with another before he got into melee range. Time to get a taste of my new weapon. At that point, I brought out my iron sword and slashed the skeleton vanguard with some powerful hits. The skeleton vanguard crumbled and dropped a health potion to boot. This potion must contain some more of Bryce's magic. I drank the potion and felt my power increase dramatically. My number of hearts doubled and became 60. And I gained the magical ability to turn invisible like see-through ice. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my exploration into a brand new part of the world that I'd never seen before, the Great Lake Isles.
As I crawled around this breathtaking new biome, I came across an abandoned book that contained information about the destruction spell that Necromancer Bryce had cast. A spell of destruction cast by a Necromancer must be confirmed with the sacrifice of an ice spider. For this reason, an ice spider that survives the casting of the spell can prevent the destruction of the world by being at the center of a spell of life, which is made to protect the world. I wasn't sure exactly what that meant, but it sounded like there was a way to turn the tide of destruction. I excitedly began to leave the Great Lake Isles when some more skeleton vanguards ambushed me to try and get me to be sacrificed.
Spider of ice, spider of ice, the time has come for...
Yeah, sacrifice. You creeps must have followed me from the mountains. I used my iron sword and I pelted the mobs with ice blasts until they were all destroyed. From day 20 to day 22, I realized that my powers were far stronger now that I had grown into a bigger ice spider. I tested my mettle against some specters in the glowing ancient forest, chopping them down with my iron sword. They weren't that difficult to defeat, but the fact that they were here meant that bad omens were on the horizon. Dead becoming more common could be a sign of world destruction being on its way. I did some more mining for iron in the base cavern and grabbed enough ore to make the ingots for an iron chestplate. Now that I'm this much stronger, I bet I could stand up to the Icy Creeper. I returned to the Icy Creeper's lair in the gravelly mountains to confront the mob with my new abilities and gear.
Have you learned how cold the world is yet, Zozo?
No, I have learned that the world has good people in it that don't deserve to be frozen or destroyed. I fired my icy blast at the Icy Creeper, and this time, I was the one dealing damage. I had become a colder, more powerful being. Never freeze the gorilla or anyone else ever again.
All right, Zozo, I give. I'll be nice.
The Icy Creeper ran away, never to be mean again and never to be seen again. Upon driving away from that other ice mob, I saw a flashback to Bryce as a younger necromancer, just learning his first spells.
The world is a cold and cruel place. I know. I'll destroy it so nobody has to live in a cold, cruel world.
Guess he was similar to the Icy Creeper in a couple of ways. If only he knew that the world wasn't as cold and cruel as he thought it was. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base, feeling victorious. I made a beeline for the gorilla to give him the good news. I taught that Icy Creeper a lesson he won't forget anytime soon. I promise you that you won't be having any trouble with him now.
Wow, you are one heroic ice spider, Zozo. I'm really checking my prejudices right now. Also, I made you a gift. In case you didn't notice it on the way in, I made a perimeter wall to defend the base.
Somehow, I totally had missed the perimeter wall. It was awesome and would do a great job at repelling the roving hordes of the undead. The base is well defended. Maybe now it's time to make sure my body is better defended. I went back to the mining cavern and collected up some more iron ore that I then took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. I used these to make the rest of my armor set. You may not be able to see the armor on me, but believe me, it's there. From day 27 to day 31, I returned to the Great Lake Isles, wanting to make sure that I'd wiped out the Skeleton Vanguard Scourge completely. The more territory I can take back from the Necromancer Bryce, the less power and resources he has to complete his dark ritual. And it seems like my earlier work had paid off, because I couldn't see a Skeleton Vanguard anywhere. Instead, what I found was a large and smart-looking golem.
Hello there, good sir. Say, I've heard quite a bit about a certain ice spider lately. Your name wouldn't happen to be Zozo, would it?
That depends. What would you do if I was Zozo?
I'd congratulate you. I'm the librarian golem. I travel across the overworld, giving books to those who need them. And the skeleton vanguards working for that blasted necromancer had gotten in the way of my very important mission for far too long. If you are Zozo, then you are responsible for many needy people getting the books they so crave.
Well, in that case, I am Zozo. Why don't you come back to my base with me? You seem like you'd be a valuable ally.
Of course, as long as there's a place where I can read.
I returned to my base with the librarian golem and constructed a new room for him to sleep in. After completing it, I realized how dull and drab the base looked. It needed a personal touch. I harvested some wool from my sheep farm and turned them into a bunch of cool banners that I hung up around the different buildings of my base. Looking snazzy! But my joy was short-lived as Illusioner Alan ran in with frantic news.
Zozo, you need to come with me immediately. Windcaller Wendy is under attack.
From day 32 to day 35, Illusioner Alan and I ran as fast as we could to reach the campfire in the glowing ancient forest where the Windcaller liked to hang out. But by the time we arrived, it was already too late. A vicious gang of skeleton vanguards had already outnumbered and destroyed him. No!
We serve our master well. Everyone who attempts to defend you will be destroyed, Zozo. Nobody will stand in the way of your sacrifice. We will destroy this entire world.
Not if I have anything to say about it! Powered by pure rage, I went in there with all my weapons and powers and wiped out every single one of the skeleton vanguards. In the end, all that was left was myself and Illusioner Alan.
This is bad, Zozo. The Winged Caller was a powerful mage and an asset to our operation. Now that she is gone, the danger grows significantly.
But we can't give up, Alan. If we give up, then nobody will stop Necromancer Bryce. We need to fight back against him with everything we have. From day 36 to day 39, I went out to the Gravelly Mountains to wander around and collect my thoughts. I was afraid about everything that had happened, but I couldn't show it in front of everyone who was working for me. Necromancer Bryce and his men are way more dangerous than I thought. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into an incredibly strange creature, a melon golem, which I didn't even know was a thing.
What? You never see a melon golem before? You don't like melons or something?
Oh, no, I love melons. I've just never seen a melon golem before. I'm sorry if I upset you. If you have a favor you need doing, I'd be happy to see to it and give you a hand.
Well, now that you mention it, there was an obsidian golem who was giving me some real trouble. Would you mind taking care of him before he hurts me or anyone else?
Of course, I'll get right to it. I turned on my invisibility powers and used it to search through the Gravelly Mountains until I discovered the obsidian golem. I used the element of surprise and approached him from behind, attacking him with everything I had. In the end, I managed to defeat him after a tough battle. Then I returned to the melon golem and told him that his bully was gone.
Hey, that's great news! I used to be able to trust the other golems, but a lot of them defected to the Necromancer Bryce, as most of them are hardy enough to survive the cold.
So some golems are working with the Necromancer now? That's not good news.
You point out the obvious a lot, you know.
From day 40 to day 43, I returned back to my base, pleasantly surprised by some improvements that Illusioner Alan had made to the base.
Zozo, I've made very good friends with the librarian golem. He's a wonderful chap, and we've been doing lots of discussions around the arcane arts. So I installed a sizable collection of bookshelves and couches so he can really enjoy himself here.
It's incredibly wholesome that you two have become such good friends.
And he's not the only friend I'd like to stay here. I improved the base by adding a barracks, so I could invite more of my Illusioner friends. The more mages we have at the base, the easier it will be to defend you from the Necromancer.
That sounds like a good idea to me, Alan. Not long after, a small group of other Illusioners arrived, and I greeted them and escorted them to their rooms. Not long after, the librarian golem approached me with a new quest.
Zozo! As you may have heard on the grapevine, or perhaps the melon vine, some golems defected from the overworld and joined up with that dastardly necromancer. Two in particular are the Endstone Golem and the Netherite Golem out in the Great Lake Isles. Perhaps, if you're able to defeat him, it will weaken the necromancer's power in another territory.
That's an awesome idea, librarian golem. I'll set off immediately. From day 44 to day 49, I set off into the Great Lake Isles to find one of the evil golems that had been working for Necromancer Bryce. I want to reduce the power of the Necromancer's spell in whatever way that I can. I thought I saw the glow of magic from one of the islands and made a stealthy approach. To my surprise, it wasn't an Endstone Golem at all, but Necromancer Bryce himself. He was muttering something, so I got closer to hear what it was.
This pathetic world does not deserve mercy. It only deserves cold destruction, and my spell will be that destruction. Soon, the hastening will be upon us.
Couldn't let him stand there and say such terrible things. Take that back, you dastardly necromancer!
Oh, it's you. You're the ice spider that dares to defy me. It seems my undead have thus far been unable to sacrifice you.
Why do you need to sacrifice me so badly anyway? What's in it for you if the entire world is destroyed?
Destroying the entire world is a thankless job, but somebody has to do it. Anyway, I've got a brand new caliber of minion now. Prepare to meet my netherite golem.
The Necromancer Bryce vanished into a cloud of magical smoke, and in his place, a netherite golem rose to its full towering height.
Greetings. I am the Netherite Golem, and I will be sacrificing today.
The other golems told me that baddies like you were bad news. Put up your big netherite dukes, and let's have a good clean fight, said the spider to the golem. I ice blasted my opponent and scurried around, avoiding his attacks. I used my invisibility to sneak in close and attack with my iron sword.
The netherite golem was very strong, and he managed to hit me a couple times, dealing many hearts of damage. But I had hearts to spare now, and this fight was far from over. From day 50 to day 53, we briefly stopped to talk.
You're going to be sacrificed, Ice Spider. I'm going to crack you like ice and then squash you like a spider.
Oh yeah? Well, you're a netherite golem, and never mind, I can't think of anything. I fired off a couple of ice blasts, then I used my iron sword to hit the netherite golem. With one more ice blast, I froze the netherite golem and brought the fight to a close with a sword strike. The netherite golem dispersed, leaving behind some mystical diamonds, which were stronger than any material I had gathered thus far. Better hang on to these so I can make a powerful tool out of these diamonds later. With the netherite golem defeated, I felt some of Necromancer Bryce's magic leaving the Great Lake Isles. From day 54 to day 57, I found the other evil golem that had chosen to serve Necromancer Bryce, the Endstone Golem, the exact golem that the library golem had sent me out to fight. This mean Endstone fighting machine was just as tough as the netherite golem I had fought before, so I knew I had to use similar strategies to take it down. Ice Spider Zozo, Golem Slayer! My invisibility proved to be a great way of avoiding attacks, and a mixture of Ice Blast and Iron Sword attacks sealed the deal! Both of the Golem defectors have been defeated now. I can feel the Great Lake Isles are peaceful now. I returned to my base in the glowing ancient forest so that I could tell the tale of my victory to the library golem.
Well done, Ice Spider Zozo. Without his golems, Necromancer Bryce has lost a major facet of his evil forces. The destruction of the entire world is that much closer to being avoided.
I'm just doing my part to stop the spell.
In anticipation of your return, I did some research into the original spellbooks that contain the destruction spell. It says that the ice spider needed for the spell must come from the Ice Spikes biome. Have you ever been there before, Zozo?
Not that I can recall, but if it's my homeland, maybe I can learn something more about the spell by going there someday. From day 58 to day 62, I used the mystical diamonds that had been dropped by the netherite golem to make myself a diamond sword. Once crafted, the librarian gave me a Frostwalker enchantment book to enchant my new diamond sword with frost. What a neat enchantment, and very fitting for an ice spider. I guess magic comes naturally to me. Because of my new sword, I was inspired to seek out more diamonds down in the mine. Using my iron pickaxe, I dredged up a few more diamonds and made myself a diamond pickaxe. I decided that was enough mining for now, and I came back to see that the living area looked much nicer, and there was even a brand new fireplace. Illusioner Alan was standing by the fireplace, feeling its warmth. It looks amazing here. Is this an illusion? I'm always telling you, Zozo, magic can't do everything. These changes to the base are 100% real. Wow, thanks, Alan. Building this base was such a great idea. I really like living here, so I'm glad I could make it better for everyone. From day 63 to day 66, I was doing some more diamond mining when the gorilla who lives in my base came to visit me.
Hey, Zozo, the librarian golem told me that you're originally from the Ice Spikes. I actually know how to get there.
You do? Well, that's great. I've been meaning to take a trip out there at some point.
I'll give you the directions. Maybe you'll find out if you've got any family out there.
Following the gorilla's directions, I made my way to the ice spikes. I didn't see any ice spiders, but maybe I would meet a friendly face if I looked around. But the first face I saw didn't appear to be that friendly. It was a mountaineer with a wicked gleam in his eyes. I'm warning you, buddy. You don't want to mess with this ice spider. I have the home field advantage.
I don't want to fight you. This gleam in my eye is the gleam of adventure. I'm Mountaineer Monty, and I'm looking to climb the tallest peak in the Ice Spikes.
The tallest peak? I bet I could see everything from up there. Count me in.
Perfect! With an ice spider helping me up, I'll be able to get to the top of the tallest peak in no time.
From day 67 to day 70, I joined Mountaineer Monty, and we both climbed around on the ice spikes together, searching for the tallest peak. How will we know if the ice spike that we're climbing is the tallest or not, Monty?
We won't know until we get to the top. Keep on crawling on these walls, Ice Spider.
We went higher and higher until we found a ledge on the side of an even taller peak. Could this be the one? That's when a leap leaf jumped down from the upper ledges and started to attack. I fired an ice blast at the mob, but it dodged away. This leap leaf was faster than I expected, so I'd have to outsmart it. I turned invisible and waited for the leap leaf to land on the ground. I dashed in and hit it with my diamond sword, dealing a bunch of damage. The moment it jumped, I fired an ice blast directly at it, defeating it for good. Mountaineer Monty was impressed with my win.
That was great! And also leap leaves only live on the tallest peak, so we must be there.
Let's keep on climbing so we can find out. Within a few minutes, we had risen to the top of the entire Ice Spikes biome. This was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in all my days as an ice spider.
Thank you for being here with me.
Down below, I saw what looked like the lair of a necromancer, a wicked and terrible base. Necromancer Bryce must be here in the Ice Spikes. Did he find me here? From day 71 to day 74, I descended the peak of the tallest mountain and began to travel through the ice spikes in the direction of the evil lair. I never expected my history with Bryce would go back so far. I need to find out why his lair is here, what happened to the other ice spiders, and of course, how I can save the world from destruction. And if you want to help me save the world, remember to search Zozo to find more of my adventures. Make sure to tell me what you want me to play as next. Down at the base of the mountain, I wandered through a snowy blizzard, only to be confronted by Necromancer Bryce.
You've returned home, Ice Spider Zozo, but it's not your home anymore. It's my home, and soon there will be nobody home in the entire world.
Your destruction spell will never work, Bryce. Not as long as I survive without being sacrificed. I drew my sword and turned invisible, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Necromancer Bryce only laughed. He was not threatened by me at all.
Foolish Zozo! You don't understand what it means that I am here in the Ice Spikes. It means that I've already sacrificed another ice spider. My spell is secure.
I froze in place, not from the cold, but from the shock of what Bryce had said. No, you already sacrificed an ice spider, you evil monster! Bryce turned toward the spell and blasted me with a powerful spell that took off almost all of my heart. He was about to fire off another, so I ran away as fast as I could. From day 75 to day 78, I scurried back to the base and immediately shut myself away in the coldest room of the base. I had failed. The whole point of going to the Ice Spikes was to learn more about my origin. But now, I had learned something that made me feel completely hopeless. The entire world really was going to be destroyed, and there was nothing I could do to stop it.
Never say never, Zozo.
It was the librarian golem. They had come to visit me in my time of regret. But all of the other ice spiders are gone. Necromancer Bryce sacrificed them.
I don't think that's exactly what has happened, Zozo. Bryce was trying to catch you off guard so he could sacrifice you. He still needs you for his place, and when he comes for you, we'll be ready.
The librarian golem showed me a watchtower that had been installed on the base. It would be an ideal countermeasure to any intruding undead sent by Bryce. Thanks, library golem. And you're right, the world isn't doomed yet. Later on, I consulted Illusioner Alan to see what magical spells he had been working on during my travels. Zozo, I have used all of my magic to create this Kaitha. It is a weapon that will make you unstoppable in battle. Thank you. That's exactly what I need. The moment I took the Kaither, I felt a great surge of power within me. I grew into the ultimate ice spider, the true king of the ice spikes. I had 100 hearts and the ability to warp short distances, combining that ability with my invisibility to really catch enemies off guard. From day 79 to day 84, I made my way back to the Ice Spikes, trusting that the transformation brought on by Illusioner Alan's spell would give me the ultimate power, and that the library golem wasn't wrong about there being more to learn about my past. In my mighty ice spider form, nothing in the Ice Spikes could rival my strength. Some specters tried to swoop down and challenge me, but I effortlessly destroyed them with my ice blasts. I traveled some more through the cold biome of the Ice Spikes, eventually finding an Iceologer native to this region. Hello there, Iceologer.
Please, call me Iceologer Ike. It's quite nice to meet a spider of ice. There used to be a lot more of you protecting the Ice Spikes.
So I've heard. That was before the necromancer sacrificed them.
Oh, there was no sacrifice. Your ancestors fought against him bravely, down to the last spider. I kept one of their helmets too. You should have it.
Ike gave me a diamond helmet, which I proudly equipped. I guess there really was more to the story than I thought. From day 85 to day 89, my base was attacked by the skeleton vanguard. I arrived just in time to fend them off with weapons and ice blasts.
Spider of ice, spider of ice, the time has come for sacrifice.
Ha! That confirms it! You still need a sacrifice, and I'm the last spider standing. You'll never take me out. With the confidence I had developed in my ultimate ice spider form, I demolished the skeleton vanguard one by one, until the last of them went running back to the Ice Spikes.
Spider of ice, your sacrifice will now be done by Necromancer Bryce.
I'd like to see him try. I chased the skeleton vanguard to the edge of my base, where he kept running onward. It was there that I met a fungus thrower who was standing next to a dugout pool of water.
Oh, please, Ice Spider Zozo! My swimming pool is way too warm! Can you provide an ice blast to cool it off?
Why, certainly, my fungus-throwing friend. I shot the pool with an ice blast, freezing it over. Oops, sorry, now it's more of an ice rink.
No, I like this better. I'll call my friends and we'll play some hockey.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the skeleton vanguard through the ice spikes all the way to the necropolis where Necromancer Bryce would be waiting for me.
Bryce, we need your advice.
As the skeleton vanguard approached the necropolis, it was obliterated by an attack from an armored pillager.
Never send a skeleton to do my job.
And what is your job?
Killing spiders by the dozen. Me and the rest of my pillager crew fought the ice spiders in this area back when they dared to defy Necromancer Bryce.
You mean that it was you who wiped out all the rest of the ice spiders, and you're working for Bryce? I'm going to freeze on you! I fired several ice blasts, but the armored pillager tanked them all and hit me with the same powerful attack they'd used to destroy the skeleton vanguard. It dealt a decent amount of damage, so I warped away to avoid taking more.
I faced many ice spiders just as big as you.
But you've never faced me! Gathering my courage, I warped back and swung my diamond sword into the armored pillager, returning the damage I took and then some. From day 95 to day 97, the armored pillager still wouldn't let up, and I was starting to see that his claims of taking down all the other ice spiders wasn't all talk. My ice blasts weren't very effective, so I mostly relied on my sword strikes to deal damage. My warp and invisibility powers helped me dodge most of the armored pillager's attacks so that I could hold onto my hearts.
Why can't you let me crush you like those other worthless ice spiders?
It's time you learned that those lives you trampled were never worthless. I warped all around the armored pillager and barraged him with sword attacks until he collapsed at long last.
Darn it, you have beaten me. Truth is, you spiders fought very well. I was the only survivor among the pillagers.
If you lost everyone too, why are you being such a mean guy about it? We could have talked this out.
Necromancer Bryce was going to destroy the world anyway. We thought we had to listen to him, or he'd destroy us first. That Bryce is ruthless beyond anything you've seen. After he hired us pillagers to wipe out the spiders, he had them save one remaining ice spider egg so that he could use the ice spider that hatched for his destruction spell. That ice spider must have been you.
The armored pillager died, leaving behind a key to the lair. At that moment, I realized I had avenged my people. Well, almost. Bryce stole me away, planned to use me for his spell, and destroy the world I've only now come to know. I will stop him! On day 98, I returned to the base to heal my injuries from the battle with the armored pillager. So much had happened since I started my journey, and we were only a couple days from the day that the destruction spell would end the world. But the words that carried me all this way still rang in my ears. As long as I survive, it isn't over. I spoke to the librarian Golem, who was also hopeful about our chances of stopping the destruction spell.
No sacrifice was made, and if you defeat Bryce, he'll never be able to cast another destruction spell. This could be your chance to save the entire world.
I will do it, for the world and for all the ice spiders that fought bravely against him. I wanted to make sure the powers of my magically induced final form were stable, so I went to Illusioner Alan to confirm. Your magical Kyther seems to be working, Alan.
Oh, Zozo, what have I always said? Magic can't do everything. You took that form on your own. My great illusion was convincing you that my weapon was the reason.
Wow, I didn't expect that. You truly are a skilled illusioner, Alan. But I didn't leave the base without any new gear. The gorilla made sure I had full diamond armor for the battle with Necromancer Bryce.
You're a hero, Ice Spider Zozo. I really wish I could have met more ice spiders.
As long as there's a world, there's a way. I'll make sure the world is safe after I stop Bryce.
Go get that evil creep. Remember the path I showed you through the Gravelly Mountains.
On day 99, I was traveling through the Gravelly Mountains toward the ice spikes on my way to the showdown with Necromancer Bryce. I was intercepted by a whole bunch of skeleton vanguards who seemed really eager to sacrifice me as always. Bryce really rolled out the welcome mat early, huh?
Spider of ice, spider of ice, must we say it thrice? It has to be time for your sacrifice.
Even though my strength, my hearts, my gear, and my magic all surpassed theirs, the skeleton vanguards descended on me in great numbers. They're slowing me down. I won't be able to reach Bryce by the day of destruction. I had to retreat as quickly as I could. That's when I ran into the Mountaineer, and he wanted to fight those nasty skeletons for me so I could take down the big boss who started it all.
Go on now, Ice Spider. We climbed the tallest peak together. Now face your greatest challenge with pride.
On day 100, I used the key to the lair and entered the inner sanctum of Necromancer Bryce.
The day of destruction is at hand, and here you are, allowing yourself to be sacrificed.
There will be no sacrifice and no destruction. We traded a series of blasts, his necromancy blast and my ice blast. We each took a bit of damage, then I turned invisible. You crushed my people, but I'm taking back the ice spikes and the entire world from your evil.
You would fight to protect a world that took away your family?
The world didn't do that, Necromancer Bryce. That was you. I reappeared and attacked his blind spot with my diamond sword. He began charging up his most powerful spell yet. It was the same spell he almost defeated me with the last time we fought. Necromancer Bryce let the spell of doom fly at me. I waited until the very last second, then I used my warp ability to move out of the way and appear right behind him. You missed me, and now it's over for you. I swung my diamond sword repeatedly with all my might, destroying the Necromancer before he could destroy anything else. This world would live on, and so would I. On day 1, I spawned in as Spidey from Spidey and his amazing friends. I was surrounded by friendly spiders who were bigger than me. Wow, I'm really small. I must be a baby version of Spidey. But where are my friends? None of the spiders got a chance to tell me because the Green Goblin jumped out from behind a bush. There you are! Thought you could hide from me with all these spiders? Well, you were wrong, Spidey. Tag, you're it. Ha ha ha! He threw a pumpkin bomb, and I jumped out of the way just in time. But the other spiders were caught in the explosion. I was the only one who made it out okay. You're rotten, Green Goblin, rotten to the core. What are you doing here?
You're asking the wrong questions, Spidey. You're asking why I'm here, but you should be asking, why isn't Spin here?
Right, Spin, Miles Morales, my friend. Why isn't he here? What did you do with him?
That's for me to know, and you to find out. If you want to get him back, you'll need to come and find me and beat me in a fight. If you can't find my hideout in 100 days, I'll make sure you never see your little buddy again.
He threw another pumpkin bomb and disappeared, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Oh no, that evil villain kidnapped Spin, and I only have 100 days to get him back. If I'm going to fight the Green Goblin and win, I need to get a whole lot stronger first. On day 2, I decided to get out of the plains and into a new location. With all of the spiders gone, I was completely on my own. And there's nothing for me to climb or swing from out here. I need some tall buildings or some trees. So I headed into the forest. I already had 10 hearts. I sure hope I don't run into any trouble out here. I must have jinxed myself because a group of gremlins came out from behind a bunch of trees and started closing in around me. Hey, why are you bothering me? I didn't do anything to you.
You didn't have to. We're here on orders from the Green Goblin. He wanted us to deliver something to you in person. A beatdown.
Uh-oh, I'm not strong enough to take on all of these enemies at once.
Let's get 'em, boys.
The gremlins were getting closer, and I couldn't see anywhere to run. Was this it? Was I already going to lose on my second day?
Hey, pick on someone your own size.
I looked towards the voice, and I saw Rabbit skiing towards the gremlins. He skied right into them, breaking through the circle, and I was able to run away before they could get to me. When I finally stopped running, I noticed the rabbit was right behind me. Thanks for the help.
No problem. I can't stand bullies. My name is Harry.
Hi, Harry. I'm Spidey, but you can call me Zozo. On day 3, Harry the skiing rabbit took me back to his home with him in the underground rabbit burrow. It was really nice of him, especially since I didn't have a base of my own yet. Now I have a safe place to rest for a little while where the Green Goblin wouldn't bother me. Thanks, Harry. This is so nice.
No problem, Zozo. Hey, there's someone I want you to meet. He knows a lot about the Green Goblin, and I think he can help you out.
He took me to the burrow of a Giza rabbit.
Hello! I understand you're going up against the Green Goblin. A nasty fellow.
Don't I know it?
Well, forgive me for saying so, but you won't get far like that. You need some tools, some weapons, and you need to get a whole lot stronger.
I know, but where should I start?
The forest to the north has lots of wood. Go gather some so you can start making tools. You'll need to be well equipped with the strongest tools you can find, as well as an open heart and an adventurous spirit. It takes a hero to defeat a villain, and if you really try, you can become the hero that takes down the Green Goblin once and for all.
That sounded like a whole lot of work, but as I thought about all the spiders the Green Goblin hurt and thought about Spin being held prisoner somewhere, I knew it was worth it. I guess I'd better get right to it then. First things first, I need to go gather that wood.
You'd better go with him, Harry. We all need a friend in tough times, and Zozo has quite the journey ahead of him.
Okay, let's go, Zozo!
On days 4 and 5, Harry and I went out into the northern forest to start gathering wood. There was no time to waste, so I started punching as many trees as I could. After I gathered enough wood, I built a crafting bench and crafted a set of wooden tools. Hooray! Now I can start gathering stone.
You're doing awesome so far.
Thanks, but I think this is the easy part. It'll only get harder from here.
I'll be here to help every step of the way. Every hero needs a sidekick, right?
That's true, but enough talking for now. I've got to get enough stone to upgrade my tools. I got to work, and once I had enough stone, I upgraded all of my tools from wooden ones to stone ones. Ready to help me build a base? We need a secret hideout if I'm gonna be a real superhero.
Yeah!
We started building the base and made sure to add a room for me and another room for Harry, so we both had somewhere to sleep. While we were building, a tarantula hawk flew up and started attacking me. What's the big idea? I couldn't let it get me, not when I was finally making progress, and I definitely wouldn't let it hurt Harry. The fight wasn't easy, but I won. And afterward, I felt myself getting stronger. Hey, I gained a heart.
You're one step closer to being a superhero.
Yeah! On days 6 through 8, I explored more of the forest. I wanted to see what other resources I could use to build my base, or if there was any useful item someone might have dropped. As I was getting ready to pick some apples from a tree, I heard someone yelling.
Help! Somebody, help!
Sounds like someone needs a hero. I ran toward the sound of the voice, and I saw a raccoon being attacked by a pack of wolves. Don't worry, I'll help you. I'm your friendly neighborhood Zozo. As soon as the wolves saw me coming, they left the raccoon alone and ran at me. They snapped their jaws, trying to bite me and scratch me with their claws. But I dodged their attacks, and I hit them back with my stone sword. Ha! You're no match for me. I'm getting pretty good at this fighting to defend the innocent thing. After a while, I tired them out, and the wolves ran off and left me and the raccoon alone.
Thank you so much. You saved my life.
No problem. I'm Zozo.
My name is May. I'm sorry to bother you, but you're such a strong fighter. Would you help me with something else?
Helping is what I do.
I'm so glad. And please, come with me to the swamp. There's a nasty bad guy there I need help with.
Lead the way. On days 9 and 10, May led me to the swamp to help deal with her problem. So, what's the deal with this swamp?
I was staying here when this big, mean ogre came in and started stomping around and telling me to get out. He broke my house apart and told me that this was his swamp now and I needed to get out. But all of my things are still here and I don't want to just abandon them.
Oh geez, that does sound like a lot of trouble. I'll do whatever I can to help.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I found you.
What are you doing in my swamp?
The ogre jumped out, roaring and running right at us. He was much bigger than me, but I couldn't back down. I drew my sword and got ready to fight him. This isn't your swamp. You can't just kick people out.
I can do whatever I want. I'm the biggest, baddest ogre in the swamp, which means it all belongs to me.
You can't take things from people just because you're bigger and stronger.
Who's gonna stop me?
Me! I ran at him with my sword, but he grabbed me and lifted me into the air. Then he threw me. I landed hard and got the wind knocked out of me. Uh-oh, he might be too strong. He was getting ready to grab me again, and I swiped at him with my sword. He knocked the sword out of my hand, and it went flying. I had to run and grab it, and I knew if I tried to fight this ogre right now, I would lose. Let's get out of here, May. We'll go back to my base, and when I'm strong enough, I'll come back. I promise.
Okay, thank you for trying.
I didn't want to run away, but I can't save the day if I let myself get beaten by an ogre. So even though it wasn't fun to leave the fight, it was better that May and I were safe. On days 11 and 12, I brought May back to my base. I built her a room of her own with a chest and a crafting bench.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Of course, stay as long as you like.
We're happy to have you. I was meaning to ask, do you know anything about the Green Goblin?
That monster? I sure do.
He kidnapped a friend of mine, and I'm trying to learn more about him.
I'm pretty sure he lives underground somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I've heard a lot of rumors about his underground cave hideout. If you can find out where he is, and you're strong enough to fight him, you might be able to use the element of surprise to help you defeat him.
Underground, huh? That's really helpful. Thank you, May.
Of course. The Green Goblin is terrible, and I'd be happy to see someone finally take him down.
After I talked with May, I decided to add some food sources to my base. I know, I think I saw some chickens in the woods. Yes. So I built a fence to contain the chickens, then I went out looking for them. There you are. Come with me, chickens. I'll show you your new home. I herded the chickens back to the base and got them all set up in the fenced area. Then I cut down some grass and planted some wheat at the base. Now we'll have plenty of food, and I learned more about the Green Goblin. What a successful day! On days 13 to 15, I decided to find some ways to get stronger, so I turned to Harry for advice.
I think the best way to get stronger is to get some more experience. Explore new areas, go on some quests, fight more enemies. You can't learn if you don't put yourself out there, and upgrading your tools probably won't hurt either.
That's a great idea, thank you! If I was going to upgrade my tools, I needed to get mining. I mined some coal and some iron too. I raced back to my base to make a furnace. Then I smelted the iron and used it to craft all iron tools. Great! Now time to explore. Where can I go? I should go somewhere really different from anywhere I've been so far. I know, I'll go to the ice spikes. So I gathered all of my new tools and headed off to the ice spikes. Brr, it's getting cold. I'm not used to this weather. Maybe I should have brought some more supplies with me.
Maybe you should have, but you didn't, because you're weak, and you'll never beat the Green Goblin.
Who said that? I looked up and saw a green golem standing on top of a tall ice spike.
I did. The boss sent me to check on your progress, and he's gonna laugh so hard when he hears about all this. But first, I think I'll teach you a lesson about trying to be a hero when you're really just a zero.
Then he jumped down from the ice spike and landed right in front of me. But I was ready for him, and I had my brand new iron sword ready to go. Not so fast. He ran at me, and I swung my sword. He tried to hit me, but I dodged and attacked again. It was a pretty tough fight, but I managed to win in the end. After I defeated him, I noticed he dropped something. Cool, an explosive bottle. I can use this to fight the Green Goblin. I was so excited to show my friends what I found that I ran all the way back to my base. Harry was waiting for me.
You should build an armory to keep your weapons.
Great idea! So I built an armory, and after I did, I felt myself getting stronger. Whoa, I gained 2 hearts. On days 16 to 19, I decided to follow Harry's advice and keep exploring to get more experience. Maybe I'll find something else that will help me beat the Green Goblin, or make a new friend. As I was looking around, I found an abandoned house. Anyone here? No one answered, so I let myself inside to have a look around. It was totally empty, except for a chest. I opened the chest and found an old book. I guess I'll read it. Superheroes should always take the time to read every now and again. As I read the book, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Whoa, so the Green Goblin is really Norman Osborn, the scientist. That's why he's so good at making those pumpkin bombs. I can't believe it. But it's in a book, so it must be true. Maybe this information will help me later. I grabbed the book to take with me and left the house to head back to my base. As I did, I saw the gremlins from before. Not you guys again.
You better believe it, Spidey.
The gremlins rushed at me, and I fought them off with my sword. When they realized they were outmatched, they started to run away.
This ain't the last you'll see of us, or the Green Goblin.
Tell your boss I'm getting stronger every day, and I'm coming to get my friend. I couldn't believe it. I beat the gremlins on my own this time. I was really starting to feel like a superhero who could defeat the villain and save the day. I wasn't quite ready yet, but I had already come so far. On days 20 to 22, I looked for some more bad guys to fight in the forest around my base. I wanted to get stronger and keep my friends safe at the same time. A mutant spider pig attacked May while she was looking for food, and I rushed in to save the day. Get away from her! I swung my sword and defeated the mutant spider pig easily. I was so much stronger than I was on my first day. I think I'm finally ready to take on the ogre and get your stuff back.
Are you sure? He's so scary.
I am. I just need to make some armor first. I gathered some more iron and crafted myself some shiny new iron armor. With this on, he won't be able to hurt me. I made my journey back to the swamp where the mean old ogre was waiting for me.
Back for more, are ya? I'll be happy to beat you again if you didn't learn your lesson the first time.
He grabbed me just like he did before, but when he threw me, my armor protected me from getting hurt. Nice try, but I'm ready for you this time. He was so surprised that he didn't have time to dodge my attack. I got him with my sword, then I hit him again. This time, he was the one who got knocked over.
Oh, fine, take what you came for. Just leave before the Green Goblin finds out you're here. He's scared of how strong you're getting, and he's not afraid to cheat and have someone else take you out before you find his hideout.
Whoa, so he's actually getting nervous.
Don't get too confident. You're still nowhere near tough enough to beat him. Just go.
So I grabbed a chest full of May's things, and I headed back to my base. On days 23 to 26, I returned to my base and went to find May. Here you go, I got this back for you.
Oh, thank you so much. It has everything I own inside. I was so scared that I lost it all after that ogre destroyed my house. Can I stay here for a little while though, before I find a new place to live?
Stay as long as you like.
Have you ever thought about building a guard tower to keep the base safe in case the Green Goblin sends any goons this way?
That's a great idea. I got to work building a guard tower, and when I was finished, I felt much safer. But I needed some ranged weapons to go with the guard tower, so I gathered flint, feathers, and string, and crafted a bow and arrows. Then May came over to talk to me, and she was holding something.
I found this in my chest of items, and I wanted to give it to you. My way of saying thanks for all of your help.
What is it?
A newspaper. It's enchanted. I think it might be useful for you.
Whoa, thank you so much! With my enchanted newspaper, my new guard tower, and my bow and arrow, I was feeling more prepared than ever. On days 27 to 31, I decided to get back to exploring and looking for new ways to get stronger. I hiked out to the Badlands to see what I could find. While I was exploring, I saw some tarantulas stuck in a hole. I'll get you guys out of there, just hold on. I helped them all climb out, and then I sent them back to my base so they would have a safe place to stay for a while. Spiders have to stick together. After I helped the tarantulas, I looked around the Badlands some more. There weren't any enemies to fight, but there was a lot of terracotta. This looks cool. I'll gather some for my base. I got as much terracotta as I could take with me and went back to my base to decorate with it. I worked hard on creating a beautiful terracotta floor in my room, and when it was finished, I kicked back and ate a snack. But I couldn't rest for very long.
Zozo, I need your help.
I sprung into action. What's wrong?
There's trouble in the rabbit burrow. We have to go help them.
Let's go. On days 32 to 35, Harry and I went back to the underground rabbit burrow to check things out and help save the rabbits there. When we got there, we saw a bunch of the Green Goblin's gremlins attacking and throwing pumpkin bombs. They were destroying everything. Not so fast. Don't worry, rabbits. Your friendly neighborhood Spidey Zozo is here to help.
What are you gonna do about it?
I drew my sword. Remember this? They looked pretty nervous, and I started slashing left and right, taking down as many gremlins as I could. I thought I'd beaten all of them, but there was one more hiding behind a nearby wall. Before I could get to him, he pulled out another pumpkin bomb and threw it right at the Giza rabbit who helped me before. No! But it was too late. The gremlin blew him up. You'll pay for this! I took down the last gremlin fast, but I didn't feel any better. I was so upset about the Giza rabbit.
It's not your fault. It's the Green Goblin. He did this.
You're right, Harry, and we're gonna make sure he never hurts anyone else again. On days 36 to 39, I decided to head to the beach and see if I could find anything useful there. I needed all the strength and weapons I could get if I was going to beat the Green Goblin before he could strike again.
Are there any heroes out here? Please, I need help.
A hero? That's me. Who said that? I can help.
Me.
I looked over and I saw a walrus sitting on the sand. What's wrong?
Out there in the water is my favorite rock to sit on when I want to catch a few rays. But when I try to sit there now, there's a mean octopus who keeps attacking me and trying to pull me into the water.
That's not very nice. You wait here, friend. I'll go teach that octopus some manners.
Be careful, he's very smart.
It's okay. I'm pretty smart too. I swam out to the walrus's favorite rock and waited for the octopus to try and mess with me. Wow, what a nice rock. I sure hope no one tries to pull me into the water. But I did hope someone would try, and I was ready. I didn't think I could fight in the water while trying to swim at the same time, so I would have to be able to fight from a distance. Good thing I crafted a ranged weapon. I grabbed my bow and arrow and waited. Sure enough, that pesky octopus showed up and tried to grab me. Before he could, I fired my arrow at him, a direct hit. He tried to grab me again, so I fired a few more arrows for good measure until I was sure I had won. Then I swam back to the shore to give the walrus the good news.
Thank you so much. Are you the hero that's trying to take on the Green Goblin?
I sure am.
Well, here's some advice. I heard he's strong, but not very fast. That's why he throws those pumpkin bombs. If you can avoid his bombs, it'll be easier to get him.
Thanks so much. I'll remember that. On days 40 to 43, I returned home to my base. It was looking a little bit dull, so I decided to spruce up the place with some torches for extra light and to keep any zombies away. As I was finishing up, Harry came to see me.
Say, this looks great!
Thanks.
Do you think we could make room for some more guests to stay here? I met some squirrels in the woods who said the Green Goblin blew up the tree they were living in. I thought maybe we could help them out.
Sure, the more the merrier. Hey, let's build them a treehouse, then they'll feel right at home. Harry and I got to work, and before long, we built a great treehouse for the squirrels to live in. Then Harry went to get the squirrels and show them their new home. It felt good to help more people in need. It was a nice reminder that being a hero isn't just about beating bad guys, it's about helping those who need it. The tarantulas came to see me after I finished the treehouse, and then they told me that they heard a rumor about some baby spiders that were being held prisoner in a nearby cave. Well, I couldn't let that happen. I promised them I would go over there and rescue those baby spiders. On days 44 to 49, I traveled to the cave the tarantulas told me about to save those poor kidnapped baby spiders. When I got there, I couldn't see any baby spiders anywhere. I looked all over the place, but there weren't any spiders in that cave. Huh, that's weird.
You fell for my trap, Spidey. Ha 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 ha!
The Green Goblin jumped out from behind a rock.
There aren't any baby spiders here. It was a lie. But I knew that would get you to come here. Poor little hero with no one to save. Too bad, so sad.
You're scum, Green Goblin.
Oh, you wound me. You're running out of time, Spidey. Too bad you won't be able to save your buddy Spin before I blow him up. And when I'm done, I'll go to your base in the forest and blow that up too. That's right, I know where you've been hiding.
Why are you doing this?
Because I can. Wish I could stay and chat, but I've gotta run. I'll leave you with some company though. Oh, minion!
A huge earth elemental came into the cave.
Bye, Spidey.
The Green Goblin ran away and disappeared, leaving me alone with the earth elemental. He looked pretty tough. Uh-oh. I had no choice. If I wanted to get out of there and get back to my base, I was gonna have to fight him. On days 50 to 53, I did my best to fight the Earth Elemental. He was a lot bigger than me, but I wasn't about to back down or let myself get scared. I stared him down and got ready. The Earth Elemental ran at me and knocked me back into the cave wall. But luckily, I had my armor on and it didn't take too much damage. I jumped back onto my feet and ran at the Earth Elemental with my sword. I got a few good hits in before he knocked me back again. Next, I climbed up onto a rock and shot an arrow at him. It hit, and while he was recovering, I jumped back down and rushed up to deliver a finishing blow. He went down, and I was the winner! Woohoo! I did it! I really am turning into a superhero. Wait, what's this? There was a book on the ground. I picked it up and started to read. The Notes of Norman Osborn. I hate spiders so much. One day I'll find a way to get rid of every spider in the world, and then I can finally be happy once they're gone. I'm so glad I found this underground cavern to build my laboratory and basin. It's the perfect place to do my work. So the Green Goblin hates spiders. That's why he's after me and why he took Spin. That's despicable. So his lair is in an underground cavern. There's a drawing of a map here showing where it is. I'm one step closer to defeating him once and for all. On days 54 to 57, I returned to the forest and started making my way back to the base. I've got to tell my friends what I've learned. But as I was walking, I heard someone crying for help. I followed the sound, and there was some baby spiders in a cage.
Oh no, there really are some baby spiders in trouble. Hold on, little guys, I'll save you. I ran to let them out of the cage, but I couldn't find a key. Then a phantom swooped down on me. I was ready though, and I slashed at it with my sword until it went down. I saw that the phantom dropped the key, and also a blast protection enchantment. Awesome! This'll help keep me safe from the pumpkin bombs. I took the key and let the baby spiders out of the cage. Be free! Then I went back to my base to let the tarantulas know that I managed to help out the baby spiders. Then I told them all about what I found out about the Green Goblin and his lair. I showed them the map, and they recognized where the caverns were. They promised to help me find the caverns when I was ready to finally have my showdown against the villain. On days 58 to 62, I decided to plant some more crops so that we could have more food at the base. I went into the forest and gathered melons, then planted a bunch of melon seeds next to my wheat. Next, I decided it was finally time to upgrade my gear again. I went back down into the mine where I found my iron and started looking for some diamonds. It took a while and a lot of hard work, but finally I found some. Sweet! Time to craft some diamond gear. I was able to use the new materials to craft a diamond sword. After that was done, I expanded the base and added some more rooms, including a bedroom for Spin. After all, he's gonna need somewhere to stay when I finally rescue him. On days 63 to 66, the squirrels came up to talk to me. They told me that I might be able to find some useful materials at the stone shores. So naturally, I decided to head out there and see what I could find. When I arrived there, I couldn't see much of anything that would help me beat the Green Goblin. I was starting to feel discouraged. Then, I saw a stone monster coming toward me. Oh no, I guess I have to fight this guy now. But to my surprise, he didn't want to fight. He just wanted my help getting rid of a mean mutant creeper that took over the cove and killed his uncle, Ben. I'm so sorry that happened. Of course I'll help. I asked him to show me where he last saw the mutant creeper, and he pointed me in the right direction. A hero's work is never done. I guess with great power comes great responsibility, but I'm ready for it anyway. On day 67 to 70, I traveled to the part of the cove that the mutant creeper had taken over. I could get more fighting experience and help someone at the same time. Just another day of being a superhero. Come on out, you mean mutant creeper. I'm here to dispense some justice. As soon as it heard me, the mutant creeper came out of hiding and rushed at me to attack. It came at me and started hitting me, but I countered with my sword and my armor protected me from the damage. I knew I had to defeat it before it had a chance to charge up or explode, so I had to work fast, faster than I ever had before in a fight. It was hard, but I managed to take down the mutant creeper before it could blow up. Whew, that was a close one. Then I went back to the stone monster. That mutant creeper won't be bothering you ever again. All in a day's work for an up-and-coming superhero. On day 71 to 74, I traveled to the desert to gather some sandstone. As I was walking, I noticed an unusual rock formation. It spelled out, if you're enjoying this adventure, find more Zozo videos by searching for Zozo. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Wow, nature really is amazing. Now back to what I was doing.
Having a nice little desert stroll, eh, Spidey?
The Green Goblin suddenly appeared. I wasn't expecting to fight you so soon, but I guess there's no time like the present.
Watching you lose will be a gift.
I drew my sword and got ready to fight. The Green Goblin tossed a pumpkin bomb at me, and I had to dodge, but I got caught in the blast. Ouch! I lost a few hearts. I hate to admit it, but I'm still not strong enough. I need to get out of here. So that I would live to fight another day, I ran away as fast as I could before he could attack again. That was a close one. On day 75 to 78, I ran back to my base with some of the stone I managed to gather before the Green Goblin attacked me. I built a stone wall around the whole base. Awesome, this is looking great. At least something good came out of my trip to the desert. When I finished building the wall, Harry the Rabbit came up to me.
Zozo, I found something, and I wanted to give it to you as a present. Thanks for everything you've done for me. You're a great friend and a real hero. Here you go. It's a cobweb.
Whoa, thanks! I took the cobweb, and it reminded me of my Spidey strength and everything I had accomplished so far. I felt myself growing bigger, and I gained 3 more hearts. On days 79 to 84, I decided to try out my new strength and bigger size by fighting some bad guys. If I wanted to push myself, a good way to do that would be to fight in the cold.
so I went out to the snowy tundra to look for some mobs I could fight to keep everyone a little bit safer. I didn't have to look for very long before I found some gremlins bullying a snowy goat. Hey, stop that!
Who's gonna stop us?
Me!
Oh yeah, we're so scared.
They didn't know how much stronger I was, so they weren't ready for how much better I was at fighting. It didn't take long before I beat them. I asked the snowy goat if he wanted to come back to my base and stay there for a while.
No thanks, I'm good. Could you walk me home though? It's just near here.
Sure. So I walked with the snowy goat until we reached his house.
You seem like a nice kid. Here, take this. Maybe it'll be of some use to you.
Then he gave me a vine lasso. This is great, thanks. Now I can attack the green goblin from a distance. Saving people is its own reward, but it's also pretty nice to get a gift every now and then. On days 85 to 89, I went back to my base. When I got there, I saw there were gremlins attacking.
Let's burn this place down before Spidey gets back.
Too late, I'm already here.
Uh-oh.
The gremlins ran away, but I chased after them. Hey, I've gotten faster. Before too long, I had almost caught up to them, but I was stopped by the Ragnarok.
Please help. Those nasty gremlins stole my falconry hood. I need it for my favorite eagle.
Don't worry, I'll get it back for you. Using my newly increased speed, I chased after the gremlins and caught up to them. Once I did, I beat them quickly and grabbed the falconry hood to take back to the Ragnarok. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
It's what I do. On days 90 to 94, I followed the gremlin footprints into the deep forest. This must be where they were hiding out before they attacked my base.
Oh look, it's Spidey. Come to lose another fight.
There was a gremlin chef waiting for me. Do I know you?
Oh, but you should. I'm the Green Goblin's top henchman. The guy who handles all of his biggest problems. And you're a pretty big problem. A bug that needs to be squashed.
He looked pretty tough, but I wasn't about to back down from this fight. I had to prove that I could take on the Green Goblin, so I needed to beat his right-hand man first. Let's do this! On days 95 to 97, I fought as hard as I could against the Gremlin Chef. At first, it was not going very well. He was dodging all of my attacks, one after another. Man, this guy's tough.
Might as well give up now, Spidey. You'll never beat me, and you'll never beat the Green Goblin.
But I thought about Spin and everyone else who the Green Goblin was putting in danger, and I knew I couldn't give up. I grabbed the vine lasso and threw it at the Gremlin Chef. It caught him. I was able to get him still enough to land a hit, and then the fight started to turn around. Finally, I knocked him down for good. As I was getting ready to leave, I noticed that he dropped something on the ground. Cave centipede leggings. I decided to put them on and see what they would do. I went back to my base and realized I could now climb up walls. This is perfect. I'll be able to use this to avoid the Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs and be faster than him. This is just what I needed. On day 98, I was back at my base and practicing climbing walls with my new cave centipede leggings. When I stopped to take a break, Harry came up to talk to me.
I just wanted to say, you've turned into an amazing hero, Zozo. I'm so glad I met you. If anyone can beat the Green Goblin, it's you.
Thank you. Next, May came up to see me. She brought me some diamond armor.
I spent the last few days making this for you. I hope you can use it when you take on the Green Goblin.
This is amazing! Thank you so much! Then the squirrels and the tarantulas thanked me for everything I had done for them. The tarantulas said that even though I wasn't a real spider, they considered me one of their own anyway. It really meant a lot to me. I was feeling braver and stronger than ever, with all of my friends by my side. On day 99, I asked the tarantulas to give me directions to the Green Goblin's underground lair. They told me where to go, and I headed out. It was now or never. As I was making my way toward the caverns, a cockroach scuttled past me.
You can do it!
Thanks, cockroach. I wasn't sure how she knew what I was doing, but I appreciated the encouragement anyway. Finally, I reached the Green Goblin's cavern lair, but the outside was crawling with green golems standing guard. Oh no, how am I gonna get inside?
I'll help you.
It was the walrus I saved from the octopus.
I'll take care of these guys. You get inside and get to the Green Goblin.
On day 100, it was finally time for me to face off against the biggest, baddest villain around, the Green Goblin. I was pretty scared, but I also knew how far I'd come and how many people believed in me.
So, you made it! Such a shame you came all this way just to die.
He threw a pumpkin bomb at me, but I dodged it and climbed up a nearby wall. I learned some new tricks, Goblin.
They won't be enough to beat me.
We'll see about that. From my place on the wall, I shot an arrow at him. He dodged it, but I jumped down and swung at him with my sword, and it hit him. Then I ran back up the wall and got ready to attack from a distance again.
I wouldn't shoot any more arrows at me if I were you. Look what I have.
And he had Spin there with him, tied up. I had to get Spin out of the way so he wouldn't get hurt when I attacked the Green Goblin. I thought quickly and used my vine lasso to pull Spin toward me and out of the way, just as the Green Goblin threw another pumpkin bomb. Then I remembered, I had the explosive bottle. I could beat the Green Goblin at his own game. Let's get out of here, Spin.
Running away, are you?
Nope, just getting far enough to do this. I threw the explosive bottle at the Green Goblin. Then I got out of there as fast as I could. Boom! The cavern exploded, and I knew the Green Goblin was gone once and for all. I finally had my friend back, and the land was saved. All thanks to your friendly neighborhood Zozo. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a shapeshifter. Whoa, that's a cool special ability. I wonder how far I can go with it. But I didn't have long to think about that, because a gang of wither skeletons with bows and swords showed up and started chasing me. Darn it, I wish I could go faster, but I'm only a baby shapeshifter, and that means I've only got 3 hearts. But even though I was weak, that didn't mean I couldn't shapeshift. I hid behind a rock and turned into a rabbit. Nobody ever suspects a rabbit. The wither skeletons kept searching until they found my little rabbit self, acting casually. The leader of the wither skeletons immediately clocked me.
There he is, boys. Grab him.
The wither skeletons immediately surrounded me, giving me no chance to escape. Wait, how did you know it was me?
There are no rabbits in the Badlands. You've still got a lot to learn, shapeshifter. Let's take him to the jail.
On day 2, the wither skeletons dragged me over to the Badlands jail. You can't do this! I'm too young to go to jail! But that didn't seem to persuade them. They threw me in a cell with another prisoner, a Quillbeast. I had to figure out what was going on. Hey, Mr. Quillbeast, I'm Zozo. What's your name, and what are you in for? The name's Quilliam. I don't know why I'm here. I was just wandering the Badlands when suddenly the wither skeletons arrested me and dragged me here. Don't worry, Quilliam. I have an idea for how we can both escape. No offense, Zozo, but I really don't know how a rabbit could launch a jailbreak. That's the thing. I'm not a rabbit. I'm a shapeshifter. I used my power to turn into a wither skeleton, just like the ones who ran the Badlands prison. We used one of Quilliam's quills to pick the lock, and the 2 of us walked down the hall together. Another wither skeleton stopped us on the way.
Hey, where are you 2 going?
I'm just taking this prisoner to a different cell block. Nothing to see here.
Fine, I suppose. On your way.
In my wither skeleton disguise, Quilliam and I slipped out of the Badlands prison without a second thought. That was amazing, Zozo. You saved both of us in there. These shape-shifting skills really come in handy. I can't wait to get better at them. On day 3, I decided to continue my escape and make my way into the jungle. It'd be way harder for the bad guys to find me amongst all these dense trees. But if I really want to fit in here, I can't just be a wither skeleton. I need a real jungle disguise. That's why I shapeshifted into an orangutan. Orangutan is Malay for person of the forest, so it makes for a perfect jungle disguise. All this shapeshifting was hungry work, so I explored the forest and gathered up some tasty melons to eat. Delicious and nutritious. But while foraging, I encountered a mysterious wooden villager meditating in a clearing. Sorry to interrupt you, wooden villager, but is everything okay?
Everything is more than okay, now that you're here, Zozo.
What? How did you know my name?
I know many things. I am Amma, the jungle mystic. I have long traveled this jungle in search of a hero to whom I can reveal the great truth of the world. Do you believe you are that hero?
Well, I'd like to be, for sure.
Good, then follow me. There is much to learn.
On days 4 to 5, Amma, the jungle mystic, led me deeper into the forest, where he started to explain what was going on here. So, does the problem here have to do something with the wither skeletons?
No, the wither skeletons are irrelevant to the true issue here, Zozo. You see, this forest is overrun with vicious tribal gremlins. Alone, they may not look like much, but together, they can pose a major threat. For the sake of the world's peace and safety, we must see to it that they are defeated. We have less than 100 days to exterminate them before things really get out of hand.
Wow, that sounds like a tall order. These tribal gremlins must be really scary. How should I fight them?
Don't worry about fighting them just yet. I'll be able to help you plan the best course of action. For now, take these tools and start building yourself a base.
Amma the Jungle Mystic gave me a set of stone tools, and I left him to go find a clearing in the jungle where I could start building my base. I immediately started cutting down trees for wood and mining for stone. My base was already coming along nicely when suddenly a wither skeleton scouting party appeared out of the woods.
He's gotta be around here somewhere. Come on, boys, let's find this slippery little crate.
I needed to think fast. Obviously, a rabbit was no good, and they'd probably be expecting another wither skeleton. What could I turn into that would save me? Oh wait, I've got it! I shapeshifted into a wither boss and floated over to the wither skeletons. What are you boys doing out here slacking off? This is unacceptable!
But boss, somebody escaped to prison. We need to go track them down.
Forget about one lousy prisoner. Go back and stand guard to make sure more don't get out. And that's an order.
Yes, Wither Boss, sir.
The wither skeletons turned tail and marched out of the forest. I breathed a sigh of relief, and my shapeshifting skills paid off because I earned enough XP to level up. Whoa, I have 6 hearts now, and I can shift for longer. This is awesome. On day 6 to day 8, I took the form of a baboon so I could finish building the house, and it looked amazing. I decided to explore for a bit. As I was walking through the jungle, I noticed something a little strange. Wait, where are all the animals? Is this something to do with the tribal gremlins that Amma the Jungle Mystic was telling me about? As I was gathering some coal, a stray ran past me. Whoa there, everything okay, Stray?
There's no time to talk. I need to keep running. Get out of my way!
You're safe here. Explain yourself.
My town was destroyed by the Red Nightmare and his forces. He's taking over everything. If you had any brains in that baboon head of yours, you'd run while you still can.
And then he ran off, leaving me confused. Red Nightmare? I'd never heard of that. So I decided to find Amma the Jungle Mystic again and ask him what he knew.
Ah, yes, the Red Nightmare. He's another terrible force associated with those tribal gremlins I told you about. Perhaps it's time to arm yourself against the coming struggles. If you make your way to the snowy tundras and find the Frost Weaver, you'll be able to obtain a mace by defeating it. Go now! The tribal gremlin threat advances ever closer.
On days 9 to 10, I shifted into a snow leopard so I could both move faster and stand the cold. Then I made my way out to the snowy tundra to begin my search. I'm gonna find you, Frost Weaver! But what I didn't expect was that the Frost Weaver would find me first. It was huge and ferocious, and it attacked me as soon as it saw me. He spit poison webs at me, which really slowed me down. I figure I can't ask you nicely to hand over the mace then? The Frost Weaver didn't feel like chatting with me. Instead, it relentlessly attacked, knocking off a couple of my hearts. There was no way I could defeat a monster this powerful, but to my luck, I suddenly saw a snow golem running towards me. Golems have a natural protection instinct, so I was really in luck here.
Don't worry, kid. I'll give you a hand.
The snow golem joined me in the fight, and we were able to turn the tide. Soon, the Frost Weaver was defeated, and I had picked up the special mace he dropped. Thanks for helping me there, snow golem. I really owe you one.
Think nothing of it. Why don't you come back to my cave with me? My family and I could make you some dinner.
So we traveled back to the ice cave where the snow golem and his family, some baby snow golems, lived. He gave me some mushroom stew that helped replenish my missing hearts.
I suppose you're out here fleeing from the Red Nightmare. That's why most people come to brave these frosty wastes.
The Red Nightmare? As in the tribal gremlins?
Tribal gremlins? I've never heard of any such thing. How strange.
Well, I better go ask Amma about it. Thanks for the stew. On days 11 to 12, I assumed the form of a formidable Komodo dragon and returned to my base. Amma, the Jungle Mystic, was waiting for me. Amma, something isn't right. I got the mace, but while I was out in the snowy tundra, I met a snow golem who knew about the Red Nightmare, but not the tribal gremlins. How could that be?
I wouldn't worry about it, Zozo. Instead, go to this cave I've marked out on your map. You can mine some iron ore there and perhaps use it to upgrade your armor or gear. It will be vital in the coming struggles. Once you have your iron, you can begin the attack on the tribal gremlin camp to the left of here.
Okay, if you say so, Amma. Still, it's a little weird to say the least. I went to the cave that Amma marked out for me. I made my way in and started mining the iron ore. There was a decent amount of it down there, but not enough to do what I really needed. I did grab the extra coal that was there though. Then, when I left the cave, I was ambushed by a lurker, one of the nastiest little creatures in the jungle. Thank goodness I have my mace with me. With one swing of my mace, I'd smushed that nasty creature and was off on my way to the tribal gremlin camp. From day 13 to day 15, I came across a path. This must be the way to the village. I took the form of a gremlin so nobody would really notice me, and I followed the path. I arrived at the tribal gremlin camp. It was basically a huge village made of tree houses in the jungle. I was expecting it to be scary, but honestly, all the tribal gremlins seemed weirdly peaceful. I decided to talk to one of them to see what was going on. Hey, fellow gremlin, you looking forward to causing some more chaos in the forest today? He just looked confused.
Chaos? What are you talking about?
I turned and saw a very chubby, stern-looking tribal gremlin chief sitting behind me.
There will be no chaos around here, boy. We need to stay organized if we want to have any hope of defeating the Red Nightmare.
The tribal gremlins wanted to fight the Red Nightmare too? I thought they were in league with them. Nothing was making sense. I needed to go back to my base and talk to Amma the Jungle Mystic immediately. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base. I took the long way back through the jungle, trying to figure out some kind of reasonable explanation for what had happened. Could Amma have been lying to me this whole time? But why? When I arrived back at my base, there was a tribal gremlin waiting for me. He looked like he was in a panic.
Stranger, we need your help. Something terrible has been attacking our village.
Something terrible? I'll come right away. But by the time I arrived at the village, it looked like the worst had already happened. The village was in ruins. The tribal gremlin chief was dead. Only his mask remained. And standing in the middle of it all was Amma. Amma, how could you? The tribal gremlins are friendly and peaceful.
To you, perhaps, but to my plans, they were a frustrating inconvenience.
What do you mean, your plans?
I never told you my full name, did I? I'm a shapeshifter like you see. Some call me Amma, but my true name is Amogolish, perhaps better known as…
Suddenly, Amma shapeshifted into a huge blood-red creature, the true Amogolish. Wait, you're the Red Nightmare?
Very clever, Zozo. I thought I could trick you into destroying the tribal gremlins for me, but it seems you're completely useless. So you can be destroyed with them!
I was so angry that I turned into a huge vile ogre and charged at Amogolish, the Red Nightmare! He would never use me to do evil! But I underestimated how strong he was. With one strike, he knocked me down from the bridge and everything faded to black. From day 20 to day 22, I woke at the bottom of what remained of the destroyed tribal gremlin village. I'd failed. I'd let them all down. But thankfully, at least some of them had survived Amogolish's monstrous attack.
But now we have no place to live. We can't just survive out here in the jungle. He'll pick us off one by one.
That's when I turned into a horse. Nobody is living out in the jungle. Hop on my back, and I'll let you come live at my base. We can work together and stop Amogolish from destroying anywhere else. One by one, I took all the remaining tribal gremlins back to my base and started building a barracks for them. If Amogolish thinks he can destroy us all, we're not gonna go down without a fight. From day 23 to day 26, I traveled out to the desert. That jungle humidity can be killer sometimes. I decided to turn myself into a roadrunner so I could run extra fast across the sand. Meep meep. It feels good to feel the wind blow between my feathers. But I had to stop when I saw a sun god being attacked by a gang of enhanced Arapedes. They must have been sent by Amogolish. Don't worry, sun god, I'm here to help. I ran in and started circling around the Arapedes, distracting them from attacking the sun god. That gave the sun god a chance.
I unleash the power of the sun!
He sent out a powerful sunblast, hitting and vaporizing the Arapedes, and he never could have done it without me.
I never could have done it without you, Zozo. In exchange, I give you the blessing of the sun. From now on, you will be stronger and faster in daylight. You will also gain a few hearts.
That's such a cool power. Thank you, sun god, and the 2 extra hearts will come in handy.
May my blessings be with you.
From day 27 to day 31, I went back to the jungle. I missed all those lush green trees. On the way back to the base, I found some sheep wandering around the jungle. They seemed lost, so I decided to take a stone guard form and shepherd them back to my base. When they were back, I started to build a pen for them. Now I can have as much wool as I want. This is perfect. I also decided to make a bigger wall around my base to protect me, the sheep, and my tribal gremlin guests from Amalgalish and his minions. Meanwhile, in Amalgalish's evil lair, he was meeting with his deadliest warrior, the Behemoth, a huge demon knight.
What would you have me do, Master?
I thought this Zozo could be useful, but it seems he's just a thorn in our sides. If we are to dominate this world, he and those who ally with him must be destroyed. Make it so.
Yes, my master. I will destroy him personally.
From day 32 to day 35, I decided I'd wander the plains in search of new allies and weapons. I needed to figure out how to defeat Amalgalish. Because I didn't want to get attacked by any monsters on my journey, I decided to shift into a mutant skeleton. Nobody would mess with that.
Stop right there, monster.
I turned and saw a gang of armed villagers ready to fight. They started firing arrows, and I was forced to dodge as fast as I could. Wait, stop! I'm not a monster, I'm Zozo. I'm just a shapeshifter. That got the villagers to calm down. They lowered their weapons and began to murmur amongst themselves before turning back to me.
Come with us, Zozo. We want to take you to our leader, the great King Midas, the ruler of gold.
They led me back to their village, where Midas was waiting for me in a golden throne in the middle of the village. He was certainly an impressive sight.
Ah, so my men brought you to me. There must be a reason. Why are you here, my boy?
I'm trying to find a way to slay Amalgalish and get revenge for the tribal gremlins.
Correct answer. Amalgalish, the Red Nightmare, has troubled our kingdom for generations. Me and my ancestors have tried to gather information about him for years, and I believe soon we will have the answers. When that time comes, come back to me.
From day 36 to day 39, I turned myself into a scarecrow just for fun and entered the mine in the village. I mined iron to complete my new set of tools and armor. And I got really lucky, cause it wasn't just iron ore I found, I also found some diamonds. Not enough to craft just yet, but they were definitely worth keeping in my inventory for a rainy day. Though the most exciting thing I found down in that mine shaft was a dusty old book containing an unbreakable enchantment, which would make my new items unbreakable. I crafted a full set of iron tools, iron weapons, and iron armor before returning back to my base to rest. But sadly, there would be no rest. When I got back to my base, an Aztec warrior was already there, waiting for me.
King Midas sent me to collect you. He wishes to speak to you about a truly grave matter.
Then I suppose I better come along. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to the village to meet with King Midas. I wondered what had gotten him so worried, aside from the fact that I'd now shapeshifted into a gorilla for toughness.
Zozo, I'm glad you're safe.
Of course, Your Highness. Why wouldn't I be safe?
My spies have gotten word of a terrible development in the war against Amalgalish. He has summoned his most dangerous minion, the Great Behemoth, and he has given him the instruction to destroy you personally.
Don't worry, King Midas. I've gotten a lot tougher than I used to be. I bet I could kick this behemoth guy's booty.
Why don't you say that to my face, weakling?
I turned and saw the behemoth was standing right behind me while the villagers fled in every direction. He was even bigger and tougher than I'd imagined. I charged up towards him and used all my gorilla strength to deliver a mighty punch. But the behemoth just shrugged it off. He hit me back and sent me skidding across the village square.
Take this new form, my boy, the Gold Golem, and use it in my name.
With my new Gold Golem strength, I pulled out my mace and attacked the behemoth. Somehow, he effortlessly blocked every hit and started rampaging around the village. I need to get out of here. I'm still not strong enough to beat even the henchmen yet. So, I fled the village while the villagers tried desperately to stop Behemoth. From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base, feeling so ashamed of myself for running away that I turned myself into a blobfish. I don't deserve to call myself a hero. I left all those poor villagers to fend for themselves. I'm a zero. As I was moping, none other than King Midas turned up, having survived the previous battle.
Zozo, I need to call on you yet again.
I don't deserve you, King Midas. I was a coward. I ran away.
Don't focus on the past, Zozo. We're not going there. I'm here because I have some important knowledge. There are legends of a sacred item, a mithril battle axe, that can be used to defeat the Red Nightmare.
A mithril battle axe? But I already have a sword and a mace, and neither of them help.
The mithril battle axe is more than just a weapon, Zozo. It's supernatural. It can give its users immense power, even granting them wishes. But it is legendarily hard to obtain. You will either need to find one or make one from mithril ore. The mountains would be the best place to begin your search.
From day 50 to day 53, I decided to take the form of a mountain troll and go searching through the mountains for information on the mithril hammer. Maybe if I find it, I can regain my honor after running away from Behemoth. The way up the mountain was tough. At the top, I searched and searched until I found a secret cave tucked away under one of the mountains. It seemed like the kind of place where something important might be hiding away. I put up some torches to light my way inside of the cave, but sadly I didn't find any mithril or a mithril battle axe in there. But I did find a book, labeled The Legend of Amalgalish. Hey, that's the guy I'm fighting. The book described how Amalgalish is an ancient evil who has tried to take over the world many times. But only someone who is of pure heart with a perfect weapon will be able to put him down for good and save everyone. Maybe I do have a shot after all. With at least some extra knowledge, I started heading back to my base. The way down was just as treacherous as the way up, but I eventually made it. When I reached the jungle again, I heard some commotion and I saw a Clink fighting a whole gang of scary jungle spiders. Don't worry, Clink, I'll help you. But by the time I reached him, he'd already defeated all the jungle spiders without breaking a sweat. He was clearly a lot stronger than I was. That was amazing, Mr. Clink. Want to come back to my base? I need someone to help train me how to fight like you.
Sorry, buddy, but I'm not the teaching type. Old Clink is too free-spirited to ever be tied down like that. Good luck with whatever you're doing, though.
From day 54 to day 57, having been rejected by Clink, I continued back to my base. Well, at least this day can't get any worse.
You have a big storm coming, Zozo.
I turned and saw that literally the last person I wanted to see right now was standing right behind me. Behemoth, Amalgalish's #1 goon! Oh no, not you again!
I believe we have some unfinished business. Square up and prepare to meet your doom.
I shifted into my gold golem form and pulled out my mace. This time, I was going to win! I charged straight at him with impressive speed, and with all my might, I swung the mace right into his face! And it had no effect. I still wasn't anywhere near strong enough to fight Behemoth, and all I could do was run away while he laughed at me. Meanwhile, back at Amalgalish's evil lair, he was receiving information from his top advisor, the impish Pixin.
Tell me, Pixin, how goes the war effort? Are our forces winning?
We've crushed resistance to the east. Our Wither Skeleton army has been successful in raiding the villages to the west. Soon, I'm sure, the north and south will fall too.
And what of Zozo? Has Behemoth destroyed that little brat yet?
Soon, my lord. Behemoth says that our mission will be even easier than he thought.
Delightful. Just delightful.
On day 58 to day 62, I returned to my base, feeling a little down in the dirt. So I turned myself into a swamp pig. I'm so ashamed of myself. It feels like I can't do anything right. But when I got back, I was so happy to see that the tribal gremlins had increased the size of my base. They built new rooms and a whole new floor.
It's the least we could do since you let us stay here with you, Zozo.
I was so touched by their kindness that I wanted to do something for them in return. I'd build a statue, but not just any statue, a tribute to the fallen tribal gremlin chief. I started collecting all the proper material when I happened upon an abandoned diamond mine out in the jungle. I wonder if there are still diamonds down there. I went in and started to mine until I finally found enough diamonds to craft a pair of diamond armor pieces, a pickaxe, helmet, pants, and some cool boots. It isn't much, but it'll certainly help. From day 63 to day 66, one of the tribal gremlins approached me.
Zozo, I think I know where you might be able to find a mithril battle axe like the one you were looking for. There's a special cave out in the desert, one that's sacred to my people. We might be able to find it together.
That sounds like an excellent idea, tribal gremlin. Let's do it. We set off together until we reached the desert. With my shape-shifting powers growing by the day, I decided to shift into a guster so I could fit into the desert environment. After 2 days of walking, we finally found the cave. It looked deep and dark, and as I stepped forward to enter, the tribal gremlin stopped me.
Wait, Zozo. I just remembered something important. You can't go in the cave. Not yet.
Well, why not? We really need that mithril battle axe, tribal gremlin.
But you need to obtain a soul heart first. I've heard legends that those who enter the cave without one lose their souls, so we need to seek one out.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that does seem like a pretty solid call. From day 67 to day 70, the tribal gremlin went home, and I continued exploring the desert, hoping to find a soul heart. It's a shame they don't just hand out those things, huh? Suddenly, I was distracted from my search as a coyote running towards me. He looked really worried.
Hey, stranger, mind lending me a hand? There's a nasty Sudaramu bothering me and my coyote brothers.
Sure thing. Maybe I can help defuse the situation. I ran after the coyote until I found a group of coyotes being attacked by a huge Sudaramu who was clawing at them. He looked like he was in a really bad mood. Sudaramu, stop bothering these coyotes.
Mind your own business, fool. This is between me and the coyotes.
The second you start bothering people, it is my business. Time to fight. I ran to the Sudaramu and began to fight. He was tough, but he didn't seem like he really wanted to destroy me. He just liked fighting people. So I gave him a good fight. Every time he swung his claws at me, I was able to dodge, then hit back. My hits barely bothered him, but he seemed like he enjoyed having the exercise.
Yeah, that was a good fight. I like your style, man.
You're a pretty good fighter yourself, Sudaramu. How about instead of fighting random coyotes, you go up against a real opponent, like helping me take on that demon, a Mogolish.
Now that sounds like a good time.
From day 71 to day 74, after not finding anything in the desert other than a cave I couldn't enter, I returned to the base, only to find that Behemoth was already there, and he was annihilating my base. By the time I got back, half of the base had been destroyed, and he was attacking the tribal gremlins trying to rest there.
Zozo, you're back. Good. I was getting bored destroying all your friends.
Behemoth, you monster! You're going down for this!
Try me.
I transformed into a Vex, pulled out my mace again, and attacked Behemoth. My rage fueled me, and this time, as I attacked him, it looked like I was actually doing some damage.
You've improved, Zozo, I'll give you that. But you're still nothing compared to me.
Behemoth hit me back, stunning me and taking down several of my hearts. And while I was stunned, he grabbed one of the tribal gremlins and ran off with him. Gremlin, no! But there was nothing I could do. After I got my strength back, I teamed up with the other gremlins to rebuild the destroyed sections of my base and create a new guard tower to watch out for any future intruders. At a Mogolish's lair, he was laughing with glee as his army of monsters and skeletons prepared themselves for the next battle.
It is almost time. Soon I will wipe out the resistance, and all will be mine.
From day 75 to day 78, King Midas once again arrived at my base, carrying a gift.
Zozo, I have heard about your recent losses and your valiant attempts to get your hands on the mithril battle axe. In the meantime, please, as a token of my gratitude for all the work you've done, take this.
Oh, wow, King Midas, thank you! What is this?
It's a sword of undying, my old battle weapon from my adventuring days. It's not the mithril battle axe, but this is a powerful, well-forged weapon. I believe Behemoth keeps his own private lair out in the plains. Perhaps you should go show him how well you can use this new weapon.
From day 79 to day 84, I arrived at Behemoth's lair out on the plains with my sword of undying, ready to do battle. I stormed in, ran past the skeleton soldiers, and saw that Behemoth was waiting for me.
This is it, Zozo! I've gotten bored of playing with my food. You won't be leaving this lair. And when I've destroyed you, the master will give me power and riches.
Your creep of a master is never going to see you again, Behemoth.
Skeletons, grab this fool.
Skeletons surrounded me, but I managed to take them down without much effort. I focused on Behemoth next. Sword in hand, we fought. Behemoth was still incredibly strong, but I felt like I was finally ready to take him on. But as the fight went on, even though I was doing some good damage, Behemoth started to turn the tide.
He fought harder and harder, hitting me again and again, watching my hearts drop. Even with the regeneration and extra absorption health the Sword of Undying gave me, I was still losing this fight. Everything I'd worked for was about to be for nothing.
You've been amusing, Zozo, but I won't miss you when you're gone.
Just as Behemoth was about to finish me off, one of the walls of his lair exploded, and Sudaramu broke in to save the day.
Zozo, eat this!
He threw me a golden apple. I'd never seen one like it before, and I immediately took a bite. Immediately, everything changed. I could feel myself getting bigger and stronger, and not just regenerating hearts, but doubling them. With the 16 hearts, I shifted into Ultimate Gold Golem, and with the Sudaramu at my side, I was ready to finish this. The two of us attacked the Behemoth together, giving him no chance to take us out. I climbed to the top of the gate wall and jumped on the Behemoth, swinging my sword at his head. He was defeated once and for all! I looked and saw that the destroyed Behemoth had dropped a soul heart onto the ground.
Now that was a good fight. Say, what's that thing he dropped?
Sudaramu, that's our ticket to the big time! From day 85 to day 89, while still out in the plains, I shapeshifted into a double-headed Vile Ogre. I stumbled upon some clay and dug it up to use on the Tribal Gremlin Chief statue. This is gonna look awesome, and I bet my Tribal Gremlin roommates will really appreciate it too. I returned to the base and completed the statue. Seeing it there inspired me and reminded me of what really mattered, all the innocent people I was fighting for. With the statue done, I set off for the desert with the Behemoth Soul Heart in my inventory. I could finally enter the sacred cave and obtain the Mithril Battle Axe. It would be a great day! But when I entered, things weren't so easy. There were husks everywhere, and just as I was about to clear them all, a terrifying Jabberwock jumped out of the cave and started attacking me. I needed to pull out King Midas's sword to fight him off, and even then, it wasn't easy. Feels like nothing has been easy for me these last few months. With the Jabberwock Cave Guardian defeated, I saw it there, waiting for me. The Mithril Battle Axe that would solve all of our problems. I picked it up and felt its power surging through my hands. Ignites and knocks back targets. Well, that is useful. Things are looking up at last. From day 90 to day 94, I emerged from the cave with the Mithril Battle Axe, wondering what I'd use it for first, when I saw that a Mogolish was standing right in front of me.
Hello again, Zozo. Think I'd let you get away with destroying my most powerful henchman? For that, I'm going to destroy you myself.
I didn't feel like talking to this monster. Instead, with the Mithril Battle Axe in hand, I charged at him, ready to strike. I got one hit in. He instantly hit me back and sent me flying. The hit was so hard, it knocked the battle axe right out of my hands. Before I could get up, he snatched the Mithril Battle Axe, even though I'd only just gotten it.
You won't be needing this anymore. In fact, I think I'll make much better use of it than you ever did. Goodbye, Zozo.
There was an explosion, and the desert ground beneath me caved in, trapping me in a pit. A Mogolish disappeared, off to do something awful, no doubt. One step forward, 2 steps back. From day 95 to day 97, I needed to do something clever to escape the pit. Thankfully, this was where my shapeshifting skills came in handy again. I turned into a bald eagle and flew right out of there, heading towards King Midas's village. With the Mithril Battle Axe lost, I needed to ask him for advice on what I should do next. But it was already too late. When I arrived at the village, I saw it had been completely ransacked. All the buildings were destroyed. I couldn't see any villagers. All that was left was King Midas, near death, next to his broken throne. I flew down and turned into a golden villager, approaching King Midas to see if there was anything I could do to help.
I'm sorry, it's already too late for me. Amalgalish used the Mithril Battle Axe to improve his power to unimaginable levels. He destroyed the entire village. You must stop him. You're our only hope.
I will stop him, King Midas. I promise. He'll pay for everything he's done. King Midas passed, and I journeyed back to my base. On day 98, I arrived back at the base and found that my worst fears had been made real. A Mogolish had come here too and destroyed everything. The base was in tatters, and most of the tribal gremlins were gone. I'd failed. I couldn't protect anybody or anyone. It seemed like a Mogolish was going to use the Mithril Battle Axe to rule the world.
I felt so terrible about myself, I shapeshifted into a cockroach. Just as I was about to give up hope, one of the last tribal gremlins approached me. I'm so sorry that I failed, Tribal Gremlin. I let your people down from beginning to end.
But this isn't the end, Zozo. You can't give up. If a Mogolish could use the magical axe to destroy all this, then maybe, if you get your hands on the axe, you can make it all okay again.
And in that moment, I knew that the Tribal Gremlin was right. If that axe could get us into this, it might be the only thing that could get us out. On day 99, I shapeshifted into King Midas himself as a tribute to the great king's legacy. As him, I approached a Mogolish's base, wielding his Sword of Undying. To my surprise, a Mogolish himself came out to meet me, holding the Mithril Battle Axe, exactly as I'd hoped.
King Midas, this is impossible. I dealt you a lethal blow with the Mithril Battle Axe. You must be
Zozo, and I'll be taking that axe.
Yes, to the face.
This time, a Mogolish lunged at me first, upset at being tricked. But that's when I took my opportunity. As he swung the Mithril Battle Axe, I dodged and snatched it from his hands. Thanks, Mogolish. I promise I'll bring it back. With the battle axe in hand, I ran back to my base as fast as I could, hoping that it still had some magic left over after all the damage that a Mogolish had done with it. I arrived back at my base and began to wish, holding the axe tightly in my hands. I wish for all the tribal gremlins to be brought back and for my base to be fully repaired. That's all I ask for. And seconds later, the axe vanished from my hands, never to be seen again. But my wish was granted. My base was back to normal, and all the tribal gremlins had been brought back.
You saved us, Zozo. Thank you.
And now, together, we can save everyone else. Like a Mogolish himself said, just one tribal gremlin doesn't count for much. But all of you together, we can bring a Mogolish down for good. Let's go save the world. On day 100, I led the tribal gremlin strike force straight into Mogolish's lair. As wither skeletons poured out to fight us, the gremlins took them on.
Gremlin freedom forever!
And as the fight raged on, of course, a Mogolish crawled out of his lair, ready to fight me personally.
You worthless little creature. I should have destroyed you when you were small and weak. It would have saved me a lot of trouble.
It's too late for regrets now, Mogolish. They won't do you any good.
Stubborn and arrogant to the end. Do you really think you can beat me? You're not even carrying a weapon.
I'm a shapeshifter, Mogolish. Don't you know what that means?
What?
It means I am the weapon. And with that, I turned into my final form, a giant ender dragon.
No, this can't be. It isn't fair. I can't be defeated by some other lowly shapeshifter. I'm the most powerful being in the world.
But all that complaining didn't do him any good. I unleashed my most powerful Dragon's Breath attack on him, and by the time I was done, there was nothing left. A Mogolish was defeated! And once the tribal gremlins were done defeating the last of the wither skeletons, the world could finally be at peace once again. On day 1, I spawned into the Autumnal Valley as an itty-bitty baby Steve. Ah, this is no fun. Who wants to be a baby? I'm so small and weak. At least the valley was peaceful, and I was surrounded by adorable fluffy mystery sheep. They comforted me in my frightened baby state. Suddenly, a huge gold-plated bully walks towards me. Just seeing him made me feel nervous.
Well, looky here, if it isn't the new meat. A silly little baby, thinking he can just wander around the fields. But I'm Midas, and these are my fields, dork, and there are no babies allowed.
I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, mister. I didn't mean to trespass. My name's Zozo. I'm just trying to understand what's happening here.
Zozo? Nah, I'm gonna call you Bozo from now on. That's much more fitting for a silly little baby clown like you.
Why are you so mean?
'Cause when you're the strongest, you get to be mean, like this.
He fired an energy blast that vaporized all the mystery sheep around me. I was horrified by it all.
That's gonna happen to you too over the next 100 days, unless you get strong too. I'm gonna get you, Bozo!
I felt so mad about how he treated me, but I wasn't strong enough to fight back. All I could do was run away as fast as I could. I don't care what he says. I will get strong enough to stand up for myself in 100 days. On day 2, I continued running through the autumnal field and didn't stop until I was absolutely sure that Midas the Bully wasn't somewhere behind me. Phew, that was a close one. I only have 5 hearts, so I can't afford to let someone as powerful as him get the jump on me like that. I still feel terrible for those mystery sheep though. My knees started to hurt from all the running, so I started crawling around. The autumnal valley didn't seem so sweet and peaceful anymore. To a little baby like me, everything seemed almost too scary to handle. I hope I can find someone around here who will agree to help me. But because I wasn't very lucky, I instead ran into a group of mean-looking skeleton jackals. Excuse me guys, but would any of you be able to help a little baby like me? I'm lost and afraid. But the skeleton jackals just started laughing and laughing.
Oh, this is priceless. What a little baby dork. You must be Bozo. Midas told us all about you when he sent us out to look for the little lame-o who was trespassing in his valley.
What? You work for Midas the Bully? But why? He's so mean.
Sure, he's mean, but if you side with the bully and help him bully others, then they won't bully you.
That's a terrible message. We should all stick up for each other.
Ha! Spoken like a true bozo. Let's get him, boys.
I had to run away again because there was no way I could take those guys on. It made me feel so weak and cowardly, but there was nothing else I could do. When I outran the skeleton jackals, I stopped in a clearing to cry. That's when a friendly pig wearing a crown approached me.
Are you all right there, little one?
No, I'm not. I've only been here for 2 days, and everyone is mean to me.
Oh, that's no good. I'm the King Pig, and I won't stand for any of that sort of rubbish in my kingdom. Come with me, little one.
Okay. So I followed the King Pig out of the autumnal valley. On day 3, the King Pig led me out into the blue taiga where there was a small school building.
Do not worry, little Zozo. This is the Blue Tiger School. It is a safe place for children, and a good friend of mine runs it.
I entered the school, and that good friend turned out to be the Water Elemental, the teacher who taught anyone passing through the blue taiga.
Good heavens, you poor thing! Look at you! I'm so sorry that some of the people you've met in the overworld have treated you poorly, Zozo. But I promise that you will always have a safe place here.
Thank you, Mr. Water Elemental. It was also very kind of the King Pig to bring me here. It makes me feel a whole lot better after my incident with Midas the Bully and all his goons.
Midas, a truly nasty man. An ex-student of mine, actually. I expelled him from the school years ago for bullying other students. As sad as I am to say it, I don't think he'll ever change.
What do you think I should do, teacher?
Honestly, little Zozo, I think the ultimate solution is to train hard enough that you're strong enough to defeat him, for the sake of everyone. There's a nice place called the Amaranth Fields near here. That might be a good spot to begin your work.
Thank you, Mr. Water Elemental. I won't let you down. So King Pig and I set off for the Amaranth Fields, ready to begin the process of taking Midas the Bully down once and for all. From day 4 to day 5, King Pig and I arrived at the Amaranth Fields. There were enough wide open plains for it to be perfect to make a base. But first, I broke down a tree and made myself a crafting bench and a wooden pickaxe. Then mined into the ground for my first stone blocks. Now I'm feeling less like a baby already. I built myself a furnace, a stone pickaxe, and a stone sword. King Pig, Your Highness, is it alright for a baby to hold a sword?
It's okay with adult supervision, Zozo. And I'm 47.
Well, okay then. I continued mining and collecting stone and wood until I had enough to start building a basic base, with a room for me and a room for King Pig. It wasn't much, but it will be enough for now.
This base is looking good, Zozo. It's not quite fit for a king just yet, but you're getting there.
Then, a problem came up. A small swarm of golden devourers tried attacking my base, and I was forced to use my sword to fight them all off. Get out of here, you nasty little critters! I've had enough meanies this week. But when they were defeated, something amazing happened. I had enough XP to level up, becoming a slightly bigger baby with 20 hearts and the ability to crawl up walls. I guess it makes sense for a baby to be really good at crawling. From day 6 to day 8, given a little more confidence by my new power and new hearts, I decided to venture out to the mangrove marshes where I could hopefully learn more about being strong and tough.
It seemed like a nice enough place until I saw an ancient Egyptian guy being attacked by a nasty bunch of sectoid soldiers. I couldn't let them get away with that. Don't worry, I'm here to help. Baby to the rescue! I pulled out my stone sword and ran in, defeating all the sectoid soldiers with the element of surprise. When I was done, it was just me and the ancient Egyptian left.
Thank you very much, my friend. I'm Seth. You saved my life just then.
Don't mention it, Seth. I'm Zozo, and I'm just trying to learn to be stronger, so any combat experience is helpful.
Well, in that case, we may be able to help each other. You see, Zozo, you may think this is bad, but there's a far worse pest problem out in the Cypress swampland. Think you can help me deal with it?
Of course! Lead the way, Seth! So Seth led the way, and I followed him. From day 9 to day 10, I followed Seth out into the Cypress swamplands, ready to take on whatever pest problem he was dealing with. I mean, it's only bugs. How scary can it really be? I changed my tune when I saw the pest that Seth was talking about. A giant, terrifying mummy scorpion! Okay, this may be a bit more challenging than I thought. While Seth stood back in the shadows, I pulled out my stone sword and ran into battle with the mummy scorpion. But my sword strikes didn't do any damage. But when the mummy scorpion hit back, it took off several hearts in one hit. I needed to get out of there as quickly as possible. I ran away from the angry mummy scorpion, yelling for my life, until I was out of there. Seth was waiting for me.
So, Zozo, did you manage to defeat the mummy scorpion?
I'm so sorry, Seth, but I'm still too much of a baby to defeat him. Want to come back to my base in the meantime? I'm sure we can get something figured out.
Thank you, Zozo. That's very kind of you. I'll follow you back.
And with that, we headed back towards my base in the Amaranth Fields. From day 11 to day 12, I arrived back at my base with Seth and immediately started working on adding an additional house for him to sleep in. Having 2 of my new friends here definitely makes me feel safer. After all, babies shouldn't be left alone for too long. Once I was done with Seth's room, he came over to me to share some exciting news.
Zozo, since you were so kind as to let me stay on your base with you, I took the liberty of building you a little upgrade. Come with me, I'll show you.
Oh, Seth, you really shouldn't have. That's just too kind of you. He led me over to a new room he'd created, a super cool storage area where we could keep gear, weapons, and supplies. This is awesome, Seth, thank you. This room is gonna come in so handy.
Perhaps more than you even know, Zozo. I've come to understand that Midas the Bully is after you. Don't let the juvenile name fool you. He's an extremely dangerous fighter and magic user. To take him on, you're going to need the best weapons you can muster.
Feeling inspired by Seth's words of warning, I made my way to a deep cave not far from my base and started mining. There, I found some iron ore, which I took back to the furnace on my base and smelted into iron ingots. Before I knew it, I had an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. A baby with an iron sword. This is just crazy, but I guess I'll go with it. And of course, a sword is no good if you don't have supplies. That's why I made a paddock on my base and herded some mystery sheep into it. After all, you never know when you're gonna need the wool. From day 13 to day 15, I wasn't sure what I needed to do to get stronger, so I went to my oldest friend, King Pig. Your Majesty, I'm not sure how to get strong enough to defeat Midas the Bully. I know I've got a better sword now, but I'm still a tiny, weak baby.
Well, one of the best ways to grow big and strong is to have a healthy diet, my boy. And for what it's worth, I've heard the delicious apples on the Dover Mountains have particularly special properties.
Then I'll head straight to the Dover Mountains. Thank you, King Pig. But the journey up and into the Dover Mountains wasn't easy. Thankfully, due to my climbing ability, I didn't fall, but it still took me a whole day just to get up there. And when I did, I noticed something terrible. There were apple trees, but no apples! Where could they have gone? That's when I turned and saw a massive skulk scorpion creeping towards me. Oh no, the scorpion must have eaten all the apples! It attacked me, and I needed to fend it off with my new iron sword. It was hard work for a little baby, but I still managed to defeat it. And when it went down, it dropped a special Dover Mountain apple. Time for a post-victory snack. When I ate the apple, I immediately started growing and becoming more powerful. I now had 50 hearts and the ability to quickly build walls. I'm one buff baby now. From day 16 to day 19, I wanted to go somewhere a little less challenging than the Dover Mountains, so I settled for the charming Evergreen Hills instead. Wow, the scenery here is lovely! If only I had a book to just sit around and read, this would be the perfect afternoon. And as if by magic, I ran into a book on the ground. I picked it up and saw that its title was The Tragedy of Midas. This sounds like an educational read. I started reading a passage that said, "Once, the one known as Midas was small and weak. He was picked on and grew to spite everyone around him. He got strong and grew his fortune, covering himself in gold. He then became a bully himself, just like the ones who bullied him." But my reading was interrupted by a gang of Midas the Bully's skeleton jackals that came towards me. Look at that nerd! Reading! How'd you like that book, bozo? Is it teaching you how to be less lame? Oh, it's teaching me that your boss is even more small and insecure than I thought. Hey, nobody gets to talk about Midas that way. He's the #1 bully around here. Let's get him, boys. The skeleton jackals attacked me, but this time I wasn't going to run away. With my iron sword, I took them on and defeated every last one of them. When I'm done, their #1 bully is gonna be the world's biggest zero. From day 20 to day 22, while wandering back towards my base in the Amaranth Fields, I was attacked by a group of feral swamp spiders. Thankfully, I was able to defeat them easily with how strong I was getting now. No spider is tough enough to defeat Zozo, even as a little baby. After defeating the swamp spiders, I returned to the deep cave near my base, where I mined some more iron ore. I took it back to my base and used the furnace to smelt it. Then I crafted it into a full set of iron armor. Gotta stay safe out there. With my new sword and my new armor, and with the knowledge that I'd already beaten a skulk scorpion, I went all the way back to the Cypress Swamplands to settle an old score, defeating the mummy scorpion. He won't chase me away this time. I tracked down the mummy scorpion, and this time I defeated him easily. I felt on top of the world, knowing Seth was going to be so proud of me, until Midas the bully himself stepped out of the trees.
Feel like a big man for wasting some goofy spider, huh, bozo? You're still just a tiny little baby to me.
Midas, why don't you come over here and fight me, rather than just calling me mean names?
Fight you? Kid, I'd squish you like a bug. And believe me, I will someday, but not yet. I want you to become more of a challenge first. Later, bozo.
Midas ran away before I could say another word to him. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base, feeling upset for my encounter with Midas, but proud of myself for finally defeating the mummy scorpion. I approached Seth with the good news. Seth, I defeated the mummy scorpion. The Cypress Swamplands are now clear of monsters.
That's fantastic, Zozo. Thank you so much. I'm going to do something to repay you for this. Stay tuned.
While Seth went to work on some mysterious project, I decided it was now time to improve my sword. I repaired it and applied the Fire Aspect enchantment, giving my sword a fiery power boost. Once the upgrade on my awesome sword was done, Seth came and led me over to his gift. He'd built a secret underground safe room under the base.
Now, if anyone attacks and they're too strong to fight off, we can hide down here and we'll be safe until they leave.
This is an amazing upgrade, Seth, and hopefully we'll never need to use it. From day 27 to day 31, I went back out to the Evergreen Hills where I'd defeated those evil skeleton jackals before, hoping to find something else of use there. Instead, I found a small group of sky lizards sitting around, looking relieved.
You! Are you the one they call, Bozo?
It's Zozo, actually.
Well, Zozo, we wanted to thank you. We heard that you destroyed a group of skeleton jackals here, and those skeleton jackals had been hassling us for years. We just wanted to say thank you.
No problem. I just wanted to do the right thing. I'm glad everything is okay now.
Well, not exactly everything is okay. We've been hassled by other creatures and monsters too. It's hard to live out here.
Then why don't you come live with me for a while? At least until I've defeated Midas the Bully.
Thank you, Zozo. We'll head over there immediately.
I went back to the base too and decided to get some much-needed rest by sitting down on a nearby hill and enjoying the view of my base. Just as I was standing back and appreciating my hard work, King Pig ran over to me in a panic.
Zozo, we need to go to the Blue Tiger School immediately. Something terrible is happening.
From day 32 to day 35, King Pig and I ran to the Blue Tiger School as fast as we could, but it may have already been too late. The Blue Tiger School was under attack from a swarm of skeleton jackals sent directly by Midas the Bully. Oh no, we need to stop them. I ran in to help, attacking the different skeleton jackals, but I couldn't save the water elemental. He was destroyed in the confusion. No, water elemental! I went into full rage mode after that, taking out every single one of the skeleton jackals. But even though they were gone, there was no bringing back the water elemental. I'm sorry, King Pig, we lost him.
This is a truly terrible day, Zozo.
From day 36 to day 39, I went back to the mangrove marshes. I needed to be alone and clear my head. I still felt so guilty about not being able to save the water elemental. But then, as I was traveling through the marshes, I happened upon an air elemental, and he looked like he needed help. He reminded me of my old elemental friend, so I really wanted to see if I could help out.
I've lived in these marshes for years, but recently a bubble monster moved in, and it's been ruining everything. I may need your help to stop it, Zozo.
Of course, Air Elemental. I'll go see what I can do. I ran deeper into the marshes, excited by the thought that I might be able to do a good deed and make a difference. I'm coming for you, bubble monster. When I found the beast, it didn't take long to defeat, especially with the fire aspect enchantment on my sword. Once this dirty bubble was defeated, I ran back to the air elemental as fast as I could.
You have done me a great kindness, Zozo. In return, I will give you one cryptic clue. Midas lurks in a forgotten place.
And with that, the air elemental disappeared, and he was right. That was a very cryptic clue. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to my base and found that King Pig had made an amazing improvement to my base. A statue of the water elemental, so we would always remember him. That was so kind of you, King Pig. If the water elemental was here, he'd really appreciate this.
Thank you, Zozo. Also, I was wondering if I could ask a favor. My friends, the gold pigs, need to leave my kingdom for a while to be safe from Midas. Can they stay here until we've defeated him?
Of course they can. Call them over whenever you're ready, Your Majesty. And he did. A day later, a group of gold pigs arrived and came to stay in the new house that King Pig had created for them. So many people live here now. It makes me feel so safe. Speaking of people who lived in my base now, one of the sky lizards ran over to me with some exciting news.
Zozo, you must head to the flowering ancient forest at once. We believe that Midas the Bully is already there.
From day 44 to day 49, I followed the tip from the sky lizard and traveled to the flowering ancient forest to find Midas the Bully. As I was looking for him, Midas himself jumped out from behind a tree.
Well, if it isn't Bozo! What's up, little clown?
I'm not a clown, and you know my name is Zozo. You've been pushing everyone around for too long. We'll see how funny you think it is when I finally stop you from bullying everyone.
Yeah? Good luck with that, clown. You see my gold armor? No one can get me when I'm wearing this. And once I've got my hands on all the gold, no one will ever be able to stand up to me.
All the gold? You're just going to steal it?
I'm gonna make everyone so afraid of me that they'll just hand it over like the sad little cowards they are.
That's terrible.
Too bad, so sad. Anyway, wish I could stick around to kick your butt, but that would be a waste of my time. I'll have my buddy here do it instead. Come on out, Horace.
Who's Horace?
Me.
Horace appeared out of nowhere, and Midas ran off. Uh-oh, this guy seems pretty strong. I knew I was in for a tough fight. From day 50 to day 53, I started my battle against Horace in the flowering ancient forest. He was a lot more powerful than I expected, but I was still holding my own.
Had enough yet, Bozo?
No way! I'm not backing down.
Then I guess I'll just have to make you.
He hit me hard, knocking me back, and I almost fell over. But I got my balance back and came back at him just as hard. The fire aspect enchantment on my sword helped me finally defeat him, and I took a second to catch my breath. That was a close one. Hey, what's that? Looks like he dropped something.
There was a baseball bat on the ground. I've heard these can freeze mobs for a couple of seconds. This is gonna be super useful. I also spotted a part of a book. Hey, this looks like a page from a diary. It says Midas on it.
Dear diary, I sure hope no one finds out the reason I wear all of this armor. I'm not a very good fighter. I'm just good at dodging and taking lots of damage. If someone found a way to freeze me or damage my armor, I'd be in big trouble. Good thing I'll never tell anyone my secret.
Oh boy, I'm glad I found this. From day 54 to day 57, I got ready to head back to my base. But as I was preparing to leave the flowering ancient forest, an ender creeper ambushed me. Ah, you get out of here! Don't blow up on me! I used my new bat to freeze the ender creeper for a few seconds, giving me plenty of time to defeat it before it could explode. This bat is pretty awesome! When I beat it, the ender creeper dropped a potion of strength. I picked it up. Great! I can take this back to my base. With my new bat and my potion of strength, I headed back to my base to tell my friends all about it. I found the sky lizard waiting for me there.
Hi, Zozo. How did it go?
I couldn't defeat Midas yet, but I got this bat and this potion, and I learned some new information that I think will help.
That's great news.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to take time to make some improvements to my base. I expanded my paddock to make room for more sheep. We're gonna have so much wool, sweaters for everyone, or whatever else we can make with it. Speaking of which, come here, little sheep. Let's give you a haircut. I harvested some wool from the mystery sheep. When I was done with that, I decided to keep the resource gathering train going. I headed down into the mines in the deep cave and started digging. Phew, mining sure is hard work, but it's worth it. As soon as I said that, I found some diamonds. I gathered them and brought them back to my base. I was able to use the diamonds to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. I'm making great progress. Look out, Midas. We'll see how your gold does against my diamonds. One of the sky lizards came up to me as I finished crafting my diamond gear.
Zozo, come look. I added some more bedrooms to the base, in case any more friends need to come and stay here.
I followed him and saw all the rooms he had added onto the base. Wow, this must have taken ages. Thank you so much. Anyone who needs a safe place to hide from Midas the Bully can come here now. With the help of my friends, even though I'm a baby, I feel big and strong. From day 63 to day 66, Seth approached me at the base.
Zozo, I have information about where Midas might have gone. I heard he likes to stomp on flowers, big meanie that he is. Is there anywhere with lots of pretty flowers he might have gone to?
I don't know.
Wait a second, maybe you should check the flowering enchanted forest.
I traveled to the flowering enchanted forest and kept my eyes peeled for the glint of gold that meant Midas the Bully was hiding there. I didn't see Midas, but I did see a fire elemental running right at me.
Zozo, is that you?
Oh geez, no, it's Zozo! I grabbed my sword. I guess you're here to fight me for Midas, huh?
What? No, I'd never work for that guy. I heard you were someone to go to for help. I need help getting this ghost miner to leave me and my family alone. He's trying to kick us out of our house and wants us to give him all of our gold.
That's despicable. He must be working for Midas. Don't worry, I'll see what I can do. From day 67 to day 70, I followed the fire elemental to his house. Sure enough, there was a ghost miner trying to break down one of the walls.
Looks like my grandma is still inside. Hurry, please.
Hold on, Granny Fire Elemental, I'm coming. I got my sword ready and rushed towards the ghost miner. He was chipping away at the wall of the house, but when he saw me coming, he stopped and turned his focus on me. He was strong, definitely the strongest enemy I'd fought so far, but I still managed to finally defeat him. It's safe now. No one will try to destroy your home again.
Thank you, Bozo. I'll never forget what you did for us today.
No problem. My name is Zozo, though. Could you spread the word? Midas the Bully started calling me the wrong name, and I really don't want it to stick. I may be a baby, but I'm no clown.
You got it. It's the least I can do. If you ever need a fire elemental, you know where to find me. Or you can just come over for dinner sometime.
Yum! Sounds like a plan. From day 71 to day 74, I kept exploring the flowering enchanted forest, keeping an eye out for smushed flowers. I know if I see something that's messed up, Midas can't be far. As I walked, taking in the beautiful scenery, a bee came buzzing by me. Hello, little bee.
Hello, Zozo. Say, if you're enjoying this adventure and want to see more, make sure to subscribe and find other adventures by searching ZOZO. Anyway, I've got to buzz off. Bye!
Thanks for the tip, B. Now, back to searching for that bully.
Talking about me, bozo?
I could see Midas just up ahead of me, stomping on a flower. Why would you destroy something so pretty? These flowers aren't hurting anyone.
Flowers are for losers and dweebs. Who needs them? You probably love flowers, don't you, bozo? I could stomp on you just like these flowers. You're just as weak.
No, I'm not. I'm getting stronger all the time.
Huh, oh yeah? You think you're strong enough to fight me?
I tried to get my bat so I could freeze him for a few seconds, but I wasn't quick enough. He rushed at me and overwhelmed me. I had to run. I ran to a safer place and stopped to collect my thoughts. Next time I'll be ready. Next time I'll be stronger.
That's right. You better run.
From day 75 to day 78, I returned to my base, feeling pretty down about the fight with Midas. All I wanted to do was lie down and take a nap, but I couldn't even fall asleep. I can't believe I had to run away. After I talked all that talk about being stronger, I still wasn't strong enough to take Midas on. Maybe he's right. Maybe I am just a silly little clown baby. I'll never win.
Knock, knock. Can I come in?
Sure, go ahead.
I thought you might want to see some improvements I've made to the base. Come on, take a look.
Okay, I'll check it out. While I was gone, King Pig had added a bunch of decorative lanterns to the base. It made the whole place look way nicer, and even though I was still bummed out, it definitely cheered me up. This is really nice and calming in a way. One of the sky lizards came running over to me.
Zozo! Zozo! Look what I found! It's a potion. I think it'll make you stronger. Try it and see what happens.
Sure, I might as well. I drank the potion, and to my surprise, I felt myself getting bigger and stronger. I was growing up. My heart's increased to 100. Thank you. I feel so much better now. I had a tough time before, but I just know I'll be able to take down Midas soon. From day 79 to day 84, I decided to take my new confidence back to the flowering enchanted forest to see if Midas was still there. This time, I'll show him. He'll see that I'm not a clown at all, and he can't pick on me anymore. I looked all around, but I couldn't see Midas anywhere. I saw some sectoid guards though, and I was able to test out my new strength by fighting them off. It was much easier than fighting the sectoid soldiers from before. I'm definitely getting better at this. When I finished battling the sectoid guards, a rich mummy came to me.
Say, old chap, that was impressive. Tell me, how did you become such a talented fighter?
Lots of practice, some special potions, and the support of my friends.
Righto! Splendid work, my lad. A warrior of your caliber deserves the finest quality armor. Why, I have just the thing. I don't have any use for it myself. I have so much wealth already. Please, take this netherite helmet and put it to good use.
Really? Thank you so much.
No trouble at all, old sport. Give that wretched bully Midas what for. Ta-ta!
After giving me the helmet, the rich mummy ran away and disappeared. What a weird guy, but this is a really nice gift. It'll help protect me the next time I see Midas. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base, only to find that more of Midas the Bully's skeleton jackals were attacking my base, trying to break down the structures. Hey, me and my friends worked hard on those. How dare you?
Oh, this was your house? We thought it was just a big pile of trash someone left in the field. It'll probably look better once we're done.
You big jerks! I'm not gonna take that! In my pure anger at being attacked like this, I went into a rage frenzy and started knocking them out one by one. But some of them managed to escape during the chaos. I knocked out the remaining ones and decided to give chase. Chasing them outside of my base, I noticed that I wasn't fast enough to catch up. During my chase, I suddenly saw a lone saber-toothed pig just standing around in the field and crying. What's wrong, saber-toothed pig?
Those big, mean skeleton jackals came through here, and they called me ugly. And now I feel horrible about myself.
Oh no, that isn't fair. For what it's worth, as saber-toothed pigs go, I think you have a certain handsome charm. But at the end of the day, it's what's on the inside that counts. The only truly ugly thing is to be mean to people.
You're right, Zozo. Thank you. That made me feel a lot better.
No problem. And if you'll excuse me, I need to chase those meanies down.
Go get 'em, Zozo!
From day 90 to day 94, I chased the gang of skeleton jackals into the Forgotten Forest. Eventually, we found a dead end. I had them backed into a corner. Ready to face the consequences of your bullying ways, skeleton jackals? But they just started laughing at me.
You fool! You fell right into our trap! You think we're nasty? Meet Midas's best friend. He's gonna get all the gold now!
A huge, buff Pigless walked in and the skeleton jackals ran off. He must have been Midas's best friend, and it was certainly scary to be standing in front of him. You can leave now, there's no need to fight. But Pigless didn't seem to listen to me, so I walked in and hit him with my baseball bat. He wasn't even affected. This is gonna be a tough one. From day 95 to day 97, the real fight between me and that huge, buff Pigless began. Every hit from him took down my hearts massively. I was lucky that I had 100 of them, or I would have been doomed. I kept hitting him with my diamond sword until the Pigless was finally defeated. And when he went down, he dropped a book I never expected to see. It was marked The Diary of Midas. Wow, another extract from Midas's diary. Pigless must have really been Midas's best friend if he trusted the guy to carry his diary. Of course, I opened up the diary and started reading, and I didn't believe what I was seeing inside. It said,
Another day trying to get rid of Zozo. I feel like I'm so anxious all the time. It's so difficult to pretend to be big and tough all the time, but it's the only way people will respect you. Zozo, he seems like he's actually strong, and people like him too. I need to get rid of him quickly, or I think he might actually defeat me.
I was blown away by what I'd read. So deep down, Midas is the most scared and insecure of all. And he's afraid that I'll defeat him. If he believes I can, then I believe I can too. I ran back to my base, ready to make the final preparations. I was gonna take down Midas. On day 98, I came back to my base, feeling more motivated than ever to complete my quest and end the reign of the overworld's #1 bully once and for all. King Pig, Sky Lizard, and Seth gathered up around me, ready to see me off. It's time, everyone. I'm going to Midas's base to defeat him once and for all, and free the land from fear and bullying.
Hear, hear, Zozo. You've always looked out for us, and I'm proud of you for seeing this through all the way. You're a true hero for doing this.
I agree. Ever since you first saved me from those sectoids and helped me defeat that mummy scorpion, I knew you had it in you to save the world. You've got a hero spirit, and you can do this.
But I don't want to send you into the lion's den. Let me come and help you, Zozo. You shouldn't have to do this alone.
It's okay, King Pig. I'm gonna do this myself. Knowing all of you believe in me is enough. On day 99, I made my way across the Dover Mountains, psyching myself up for the final battle against the bully who'd been hassling me for 99 days. I can't wait for this to finally be over, so me and my friends can all relax. On my way there, I ran into a yak who was casually grazing. Wish me luck, Mr. Yak. I'm on my way to defeat a major bully.
Good luck. Hope you don't get your butt kicked.
I kept going until I saw the last thing I wanted to see. A big gang of Midas's skeleton jackals ready to fight. Oh no, even I might be outnumbered here.
Think again.
I turned and saw that King Pig had been following me the whole time. King Pig, why are you here?
Because you need me, clearly. You've helped me a lot since you've come here, Zozo. Now it's time for me to help you. I'll distract all these nasty skeleton jackals. You go take down that big bully.
You're the best, King Pig. Let's do this! On day 100, I entered Midas the Bully's lair by using my wall climbing abilities to get in past the walls. All that gold he's taken, you'd think he'd have invested in some better security. When I went in, Midas was the only one there. He seemed shocked to see me.
What? This is impossible! I sent out all my skeleton jackals to stop you. How could you have gotten past them?
Because I still have friends, unlike some people around here.
Big talk for such a little baby, bozo.
I may be a baby, Midas, but I'm not a coward. I know the truth. Pigless was carrying your diary, and I read it. You're afraid of me. You're afraid of everything. And rather than confront that, you're mean to everyone around you. I'm giving you one last chance to be better.
You
read my diary? Oh, for that, I'm gonna pound you, you nasty little baby! This is the end!
Well, I can't say I didn't give you a chance. Midas fired an energy blast at me, but I used my quick building skills to build a wall between me and the blast. Now it was time to fight back. I chugged down the potion of strength I received earlier. There was no way he could stop me now. I ran out from behind the wall and took Midas by surprise and bonked him with my bat. Before Midas could stop me, I hit him again and again and again, cutting through his golden armor until the last strike defeated him for good. That's what you get for being a bully. And with Midas gone, the overworld was free to have fun once again. On day 1, I spawned as a golden hydra. Whoa, this is amazing! I looked around and noticed that I was in some sort of cave. I ventured out and immediately saw some scary dread knights.
There he is! Catch him!
No thanks! I scurried away, the men following after me.
You'll come back here!
They started shooting darts at me. Ah! One dart hit me and I lost some hearts. Wait, I only have 5 hearts? This is insane! I hurried and tried to get away, but the men were too fast. They surrounded me as I felt my eyes start to close.
Perfect. Everything is coming together.
And with that, I passed out. On day 2, I woke up in a cage. Oh, where am I? I looked around and noticed that there were more cages around me, but most of them were empty. I almost didn't notice the frog sitting in the cage nearby. He blended in with the floor really well.
I was waiting for you to wake up. Come on, we gotta get out of here.
But how? Even if we can get out of the cages, I don't know how to get out of the prison.
I know a way out, but you need to be the one to unlock the door.
I looked closer and examined the gate. I began to hit it with my heads, but that started to make me feel dizzy. The frog laughed at me.
Oh, no, use your fire spit.
Fire spit? I did what the frog said, and I spit at the lock. But it wasn't fire, it was golden little orbs. I left the cage and started firing away at the frog's cage until it opened too.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. I'm Zozo, by the way.
I'm Freddy.
Freddy and I made our way over to the exit and broke through the door, up the stairs. We were home free. On day 3, Freddy and I hurried as fast as we could away from the underground prison. While we were running, I spotted some pigs and chickens and hurried to gather their meat before they could scamper away. I gathered up their meat and shared some with Freddy. We both chowed down.
Thanks, Zozo. And I gotta say, that prison break was amazing. I didn't know you could spit gold.
Neither did I. In fact, I didn't know much about anything, except that some evil guys were after me. Freddy and I agreed to go our separate ways. I went further into the forest to explore. Maybe I would find some other hydras.
Little Hydra!
I turned and saw an old troll walking slowly up behind me. He looked hurt.
Would you mind helping me? I was attacked and need to get back home before it gets dark.
Of course. We slowly made our way to his home, a little cottage next to a river.
Thank you, little Hydra. Please come inside so that you are safe. There are all kinds of monsters outside.
The guy seemed nice enough, so I stayed with him for the night. On days 4 to 5, I woke up in the troll's house. He had cooked some stew for both of us. Thank you. What did you say your name was?
I'm Horace, just a poor old troll trying to make his way in the world.
Horace seemed better than yesterday, but still very tired. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Actually, I'm more concerned for your safety. You are the Golden Hydra after all.
The Golden Hydra?
A prophecy was given many years ago by a great seer. She said that a Golden Hydra would be born, and it would be his destiny to either save or destroy the land.
Is that me?
I believe it is.
What should I do?
Build yourself a safe house, gather materials, strengthen yourself as much as you can. You need to be at your best.
Horace gave me some stone tools and a full stack of oak planks.
Use these to start. I hope to hear from you, little Hydra. Be careful who you trust.
I left Horace's house to find a good place to start a base. I found a nearby lake on the plains with some nice level ground. I used my stone tools to gather additional material and started working on a modest Japanese-style gold Hydra base. It may have only been one building for me so far, but there was plenty of room on the plains for this base to expand with more buildings and features. It was all coming together when I heard some men yelling.
There's the Hydra! Get him!
It was more of those evil Dread Knights! Not today, you goons! I spit my orbs at them, and they all turned to gold! Oh, wow, that is not what I expected! Just then, I felt power rush through me, and I grew into a larger HYDRA! Now I have 11 hearts! Nice! I'll beat whoever controls those Dread Knights in no time! On days 6 to 8, I ventured from my base to gather more information. Also, I wanted to see if I could find more creatures that needed shelter from the mysterious villain and his men. I came across some tortoises who immediately tried to run away. Hey, I'm a friend! They looked at me warily.
You aren't working with the sorcerer?
No, a sorcerer? Is that who's commanding all the Dread Knights? I have nothing to do with him.
Look, kid, it would just be better if you left this land. It's not safe for you.
The tortoises slipped away, leaving me confused. I decided to go back to Horus's house to ask him about it.
A great sorcerer has purged this land and intends to use your power for his purposes. He will stop at nothing to get you.
That's awful! What should I do?
There is a cave nearby that has some armor and tools that we could use. I was on my way there the other day when I was attacked. That's a good place to start.
Sounds like a plan. On days 9 to 10, I hurried to the cave that Horus mentioned and went to explore. Sure enough, there was a chest hidden behind some rocks. Just as I was about to open it, a great hairy spider came rushing out. Ugh, gross! He attacked me, and I was too slow to spit my golden orbs. I took quite a bit of damage. Ouch! I hurried and slithered from the cave. This is too hard. I can't defeat him by myself.
Hey, are you trying to get rid of that spider too?
A wolf came out from behind a tree. Yeah, I am. Why do you want him gone?
He took some of my armor. I'm trying to keep myself safe from the sorcerer's goons.
Me too. Maybe we can work together. We came up with a plan and went back down to the spider's lair. The wolf distracted him, and I shot my golden orbs at him. He turned immediately into a gold statue.
Wow!
We gathered the materials in the chest, and I gave the wolf the reptile armor.
Be careful out there.
Zozo.
Zozo. I'm Lex.
Thanks, Lex. Take care of yourself. On days 11 to 12, I returned to Horus. At first, he was happy, but when I told him that I'd given Lex the armor from the chest, he got really mad.
The other animals don't matter, little Hydra. What matters is that you're strong.
He was acting really weird, but I couldn't blame him. He was probably scared of the sorcerer and just wanted us to be safe.
You've done well, but this isn't enough. Now you must travel to the Black Forest and gather more strength potions left there by wizards of yore. This is important, little Hydra. Don't trust anyone besides me. Defeat anyone who stands in your way.
I left the house, wondering why Horus didn't want me to trust anyone else. He was probably just paranoid. As I made my way to the Black Forest, I saw some more of the sorcerer's goons traveling along the river. I tried to be quiet and slither away, but they spotted me.
It's the HYDRA! Grab him!
I dodged some of their darts and shot my golden orbs at them. They tried to escape, but after a few shots, they were all statues. Nice! I soon reached the depths of the Black Forest, hoping to gather the potions Horus wanted. On days 13 to 15, I plucked up the courage to enter the sinister Black Forest. At first, there didn't seem to be anyone there, but I kept looking, wanting to find those potions. After just a few moments, I saw a family of hoglins gathered around a campfire, harmlessly warming themselves. Why does Horus want me to defeat these hoglins? They seem really nice. I slithered in, and the hoglins were taken aback. I don't mean you any harm, I'm just curious if you have any armor. The hoglins were cautious, but one answered me.
Are you going to try to steal it from us like the others?
Others? What others?
The sorcerer's men. They have tried to steal it before. They want all the armor taken away from the creatures in the land, so they can't fight the sorcerer.
What? That didn't seem right. I needed to talk to Horus about this. On days 16 to 19, I traveled back to Horus's house. I arrived, and he seemed happy to see me. But when I told him I couldn't get the strength potions from the Black Forest, he immediately turned angry.
Don't you know what's at stake? You needed to get those potions. You need to get stronger.
Why is it so important that I'm stronger?
You are not fulfilling my expectations. I need to think this through.
He told me to leave. I did, more confused than before. When I arrived back at my base, Freddy Frog was there. Hey, buddy, it's been a while.
Zozo, I'm so glad you're okay. I heard that you met the sorcerer. How did you survive?
What do you mean? I haven't met him.
All the creatures have seen him hiding out in the woods. He's disguised as a simple old troll.
Wait, was he talking about Horus?
I heard he's planning an attack with his goons today. He's going to the village in the plains.
I had to see for myself if this was true. It couldn't be Horus, could it? I went with Freddy to the village in the plains like he said. When we got there, I saw the goons being led by a very recognizable troll. I looked closer and realized it was Horus. You manipulated me. Horus turned toward me.
Oh, Zozo, you gullible little Hydra. You are too quick to trust, but you've been a hindrance. Time for a change of plans.
You had no right to do that to me, and you have no right to steal from innocent creatures and people. I charged at him, spewing golden orbs. He easily outmaneuvered them, and with his powerful swing, threw me back into a building. Before I knew it, I blacked out. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with Freddy looking down at me.
Oh, good. You're awake. You need to help the villagers.
I got up and followed Freddy to the village. Some of the buildings were on fire. Everyone, move away from the buildings! I hurried and spewed my orbs at them, extinguishing the fires. It was definitely not what the villagers were expecting.
Whoa, this is amazing! How can we repay you?
It might not be safe here anymore. You can all live at my base with me. I have lots of room. The villagers talked amongst themselves for a little while, then readily agreed. We made our way to my base and then gathered some needed supplies for the new houses. It was hard work, but in no time, everyone had a house of their own.
Thank you, Zozo. These look amazing.
On days 23 to 26, I went back to the cave where I originally spawned. It must have been important, so I figured that I should investigate. I entered the cave and it seemed very normal. I was hoping to find some sort of clue as to who my parents were. It had been a crazy couple of days, and even though I had friends, I wondered if I had family. All of a sudden, I heard a noise coming from deeper in the cave. I explored further and saw another HYDRA, but she was being attacked by a group of skeletons. Get away from her! I slithered down and started shooting the skeletons. Within just a few moments, those bags of bones were gone. I turned to the HYDRA, but then I felt a power surge through me. I grew, and then I leveled up into an adult HYDRA. I now have 18 hearts. I let out a large breath of golden fire.
Zozo?
The HYDRA looked scared of me. No need to be scared. Who are you?
I'm your mother.
My mother? I'm so glad I found you. Where did you go?
I laid an egg and went to find some food, but when I came back, you were gone. I was so worried about you.
How about you come live with me? I have a base and it'll be much safer than this cave. She happily agreed, and we made our way in that direction. On days 27 to 31, as my mother and I left the cave, we happened upon Freddy again.
Hey, Zozo, do you think you could help my family?
He directed me toward a small alcove nearby that had been broken apart. What happened?
The sorcerer's goons tried to break our alcove after we refused to leave. We managed to escape before anyone was hurt, but we don't have a home now.
The frogs looked very sad, so I offered to build them a new home on my base.
Really? That would be great. Thank you so much.
With the frogs and my mother in tow, we continued on our way to my base. Once we arrived, we got straight to work, building a pond for the frogs and placing down a bed for my mother. I also noticed that the villagers had planted crops and gathered some animals. They even made a nice path connecting all the buildings. Thanks, guys. You've done some great work here. It was all starting to come together.
I will get that golden HYDRA if it's the last thing I do. He is the key to all of my plans. What would you like me to do, Master? I want you to follow him. Make sure he is met with challenges. He needs to reach maximum strength by the full moon. It's vital that you do this. Yes, Master.
On days 32 to 35, I wanted to return to the underground prison where Freddy and I were held. If Horus wanted to befriend me, why did he capture me in the first place?
That's a good question. Maybe there are some answers at the prison.
I asked Freddy if he wanted to come with me, and he readily agreed. We made our way down the tower where we had escaped, and noticed that there were iron golems standing around this time. That's new, and they don't look like they work for Horus.
I wasn't expecting you to come back here.
I flipped around to see one of the iron golems standing right behind me. Are you one of the guards?
Not exactly. I bartered with some of Horus's goons that are corrupt. They agreed to give you to me as a bargaining chip. We weren't expecting you to escape so quickly, however.
So you're not my enemy. You just want to sabotage him.
Basically.
So...
perhaps we can make an arrangement to stop him.
What do you have in mind?
I'll be in touch. I have some research to do. Just look out for a message from Puck the Honorable.
Honorable? You captured my friend Freddy.
Sorry, what can I say? I like frog legs.
I heard Freddy gulp behind me.
Don't worry, I won't eat your friend, but we'll be in touch, Zozo.
And just like that, he left, without even saying goodbye. Not very polite, but okay. On days 36 to 39, I went venturing into a nearby cave to find some iron ore that could help buff out my equipment. After I found enough, I built a furnace, smelted some iron ingots, and finally made myself an iron sword, iron pickaxe, and some armor. Cool, looking good. I went digging deeper and even managed to find some diamonds. Yes, jackpot! This will be great for some upgrades. Before I could start crafting, I heard a noise and something hit me. I turned and saw a skeleton moving around, trying to shoot me again. I spewed my golden fire breath at him. Nice. The skeleton froze, but not before dropping his bow. I picked it up and realized it was enchanted. Infinite arrows. Sweet. I returned to my base with the supplies and the bow, hoping to upgrade some of my items and the houses. One of the villagers approached me.
Zozo, do you think you could help me with something?
Sure, what is it?
Bradley, and it's about our home. I thought I had gathered everything when we came here, but I left something important there. Would you come with me? I don't feel safe going by myself.
Of course, let's go! On days 40 to 43, Bradley and I ventured back to the village on the plains. We hurried to the house to grab his item. What is it you needed so badly? He rummaged around his room under his bed and then whooped in victory.
Got it!
Is that a paintbrush?
Yeah, it's my lucky paintbrush.
Are you serious?
It's important to me.
I shook my head. What a weird kid. But hey, at least he has it now. All of a sudden, I heard a noise outside. Shh, I think there's someone here. I looked out the window, and sure enough, there was some of Horus's goons rummaging around. But they weren't alone. They were being led by a terrifying yak this time. We tried to sneak out quietly, but Bradley made a noise and they spotted us. Smooth move, Bradley! The goons charged at us, and I started to spew golden fire. Within just a few moments, we had nearly taken out all of the goons. The henchman just stood, watching us. Then after a moment, he ran off with the remaining men.
Coward!
We looked around and noticed the goons had dropped a few healing potions before I had frozen them into gold. Nice! Now we have a little bit bigger of a potion stash, just in case.
Sheesh, that was awesome!
Was the paintbrush worth it, Bradley?
Absolutely.
On days 44 to 49, Bradley and I traveled back to the base. Once we arrived, I found a note on my door. Puck the Honorable sent me a message to meet outside my base near the river. It didn't take me long to find him.
I've been doing some research about Horus and his plans. I think that if you are able to create a certain item, you can overpower Horus.
Great! What is it?
An amethyst sword. It's the one thing that will harm Horus, even if he reaches the full extent of his magical powers, and it may just save your life.
What do I need to do?
You'll need to gather 2 amethyst crystals and a stick. That's all you'll need to make it, though I can't promise those crystals won't be guarded by an incredibly dangerous mobs.
Great. Sounds like a walk in the park.
What? You expected saving the world to be easy?
No, I just wish I hadn't been duped by Horus in the first place.
Don't beat yourself up, kid. You'll get the hang of it.
Puck handed me a paper with some instructions on it.
This should help you.
And just like that, he left. Again. I need to tell him it's polite to say your goodbyes. On days 50 to 53, I followed the instructions Puck gave me to find the crystals. It said to go to a cave and consult with the ancient being. I realized that it had led me back to the cave where I had fought the giant spider. As I entered, I noticed that the spider was still there, frozen in gold. He must be the ancient being. I wonder if there's a way I can reverse it. I went up to the spider and tried to shoot an orb at him. Nothing. A fire breath, and also nothing. Then I tried to punch him. Suddenly, he turned back into his normal self. He looked down at me angrily.
How dare you freeze me?
I'm sorry. I was manipulated by the sorcerer to steal your items. But you did steal some of them from the wolf. He softened a little.
I did. I was desperate and needed extra protection. Clearly it did not work. What do you want?
I was told that you have information about amethyst crystals.
Yes, I was once a guardian of a great multitude of crystals, but I was forced to leave when the cavern was ambushed by an evil warden. It has been a great many years since then.
Can you show me where it is?
I cannot. When I desired to go back, it was no longer there. Some sort of shifting due to magic.
I thanked the spider and left the cave. It was just another dead end. On my way back to the base, I noticed more of Horace's goons fighting a wolf. Hey, that's Lex. Maybe he'll want to help me. I approached as he finished the goons off. Hey, remember me?
Zozo, you're alive!
Yeah, I am, and I'm trying to defeat the sorcerer. I could really use your skills. Would you want to help me?
I don't think I can, Zozo. I'm good at fighting his goons, but he's too powerful. I think you'd be better off on your own.
Before I could even argue, he ran off into the distance. Well, that was underwhelming. Maybe he'll change his mind. On days 54 to 57, I went exploring a little more. I found myself close to where I had found Horace that first time. I wondered if he was still at his house. I decided to investigate. When I got closer, I heard voices.
The master needs some items taken to him. Make sure they get there safely.
It was the henchman I had seen earlier, the Yak! He had a few goons, and he was dragging some chests of things. It seemed like a good opportunity to attack. Hey, coward! The henchman turned toward me.
You just can't get enough, can you?
He sent the goons forward to attack. I maneuvered around them easily, and within a few moments, most of them were gold statues. The henchman got mad. Before I knew it, he attacked me. Ouch! How is he so fast? I felt my heart's dwindling. He slashed at me again, faster than any other human I had encountered. I tried to breathe my golden fire at him, but it was in vain. I need to get out of here. I hurried and slithered away, retreating into the bushes.
Look who's the coward now.
The henchman ran off. I didn't dare follow him. I was too weak and needed to go back home. If I can't defeat just one henchman, how am I supposed to defeat a sorcerer?
He managed to take out a few of your men, Master, but he could not withstand my blows. He is not even close to being ready. Yes, he is weak, but he will get stronger. Just keep attacking. Send out as many men as possible. They're disposable. Will do, Master.
On days 58 to 62, I made it back to my base. I was met with a much-needed surprise.
Zozo, we made you something, sweetie.
My mom led me to the edge of the base. Whoa, is this a statue of me? It was a HYDRA, but it wasn't completely gold. It was more of an orange color.
Actually, it's a statue of your father.
My father?
I wanted to tell you earlier, but I didn't know if you were ready. He died right before you were born. He was trying to protect us. He couldn't wait to meet you, Zozo.
I looked up at the statue. It's amazing.
It's not done yet. We still need some more quartz for the teeth. Would you like to help us?
Of course. I headed to the desert where I had previously seen some ruins made out of quartz and collected those materials for the statue. After giving the quartz to Mom, she quickly added the teeth to the statue, and now it truly looked magnificent. On days 63 to 66, I woke up to someone calling my name. I went outside. It was Lex. Hey, Lex, what's up?
I went back to that cave with the spider, and to my surprise, he wasn't a gold statue anymore.
Oh yeah, I should have warned you.
No harm done. He actually told me that you were looking for a cavern with amethyst crystals in it. I think I might actually know where that is.
Really? Show me. Lex led the way to a small desert. We finally arrived at what looked like a rock formation with a door. Great, let's just push open the door and head inside. We tried to push, pull, and roll, but the stone didn't budge. I even tried my golden fire on it. No luck.
Maybe there's a special combination or code word?
Maybe, but I have no idea what it might be. It was disappointing, but now I knew where it was. At least I could come back to it later. Let's head back. How about you stay with us? You don't have to be alone, Lex. He sighed.
I know. I was wrong and scared, but I know you're our best chance at stopping the sorcerer. Thanks for not giving up on me.
Of course. That's what friends do. Lex smiled, and we headed home. On days 67 to 70, Bradley approached me again.
Hey, Zozo, do you think you could help me with something else?
Is it another paintbrush, Bradley?
No, actually. I wanted to practice shooting with the bow I have. Do you think you could help me with some target practice?
Of course. Where did you have in mind?
There's actually an archery area near my old house. Maybe we can even bring some of the stuff back to the base.
That sounds like a great idea. We headed back toward Bradley's old home. When we got there, we noticed some movement outside the houses. Hey, those are the tortoises I met earlier. They told me to take a hike.
Maybe we should go.
Then I noticed the tortoises were fighting each other over some food. I approached carefully. Hey, friends, remember me?
Ugh, you again. We don't need your help, HYDRA. You're just making things worse for us. The sorcerer and his goons have driven us out of our homes, and now we hardly have food.
The leader came toward me and snapped his teeth. I don't want to hurt you. He snapped at me again, and I had no choice but to spew golden fire at him. After he turned into a statue, I punched him. He quickly came back to life, looking surprised.
Why did you do that?
Like I said, I'm not here to hurt you. In fact, we would love for you to stay at our base. It's safe and there's plenty of food. There's no need to fight each other.
Thank you, HYDRA. We are in your debt.
On days 71 to 74, we made it back to the base. This time, we were met with an unwanted surprise. My mom rushed out to us.
Zozo, they're attacking the base. We need your help.
I slithered over and saw the yak and his dread knights waiting for me. Hey, you don't belong here! The henchman looked at me and, just like before, attacked in a flash. I still wasn't strong enough, but I knew I needed to protect my friends. Using all of my strength, I let out the largest burst of golden fire I could muster.
Not bad, HYDRA, but not good enough. Come and find me when you are ready. I'll be waiting with your precious friend.
And before I knew it, the henchman left. I had managed to statuefy his goons, but he escaped again. Wait, what did he say about a friend? I slithered inside as fast as I could and realized that my mother was nowhere to be found. Mom? Mom! He took her, and I had no idea where she went. I retreated to my house, blind with rage. And then I started to cry. This was all too much. How was I ever supposed to defeat anyone like this? I stayed in my house for a while, not letting anyone in. Finally, after a long time, I heard a knock at the door.
Zozo, it's Lex. We have something to show you.
I reluctantly left the house, not wanting anyone to see me like this. But they needed someone, and I needed to be strong for them. Lex showed me that they had fixed up the crops, bred the animals, and improved the security by building some walls. Great! Thanks, Lex.
That's not all.
He turned me toward the statue of my dad, and I realized there was a smaller version next to it. It was of my mom.
You'll get her back, Zozo. We believe in you.
I didn't know what to say. I just nodded.
And you are sure he is getting stronger? Yes, Master. He is almost to his full form. Excellent! Then the plan is working. The mother will eventually bring him to us. Good work. Thank you, Master.
On day 75 to 78, Puck the Honorable left me another note. I met him at our customary spot next to the river.
Hello again, Zozo.
What do you want, Puck?
Someone's in a hurry. I have important information and a gift for you. I hear you are having some trouble with Horace's henchman. I have some important information. His whereabouts. He actually lives very close to Horace. It's a bit hush-hush, but I have my ways.
He handed me a map, and I went to grab it.
Be careful, Zozo. You don't know what you'll find there.
Give me the paper, Puck.
Do not lose yourself along the way. Remember what you are fighting for.
I know what I'm fighting for, Puck. My mom has been taken by those creeps, and I intend on saving her. Then I'm going to put the henchman and Horace in their rightful place. Puck handed me the paper.
Good boy. Now go get your mother back.
On days 79 to 84, I raced to the henchman's house. If there was a chance he had my mom, I was going to find her and defeat him once and for all. I followed the directions and found myself outside of a large wall. Inside, it was a modest-looking house. This is where the henchman stays? Quite a cozy home he made for himself. I snuck around to see if he was inside, but I didn't see anything. Suddenly, I felt a gust of wind. The yak was standing right behind me.
Come to retrieve your mommy?
Coming after me was one thing, but involving my mom was a step too far.
Your mother gave you everything, and you still can't save her.
I'm going to beat you, Yak, for her! I felt a power grow within me, and I leveled up into a fully grown Hydra with 50 hearts. I got bigger, stronger, and even gained the Claw Strike ability.
No, this isn't what was supposed to happen. Horus promised me I wouldn't be defeated by you.
Be careful who you trust, henchman. And with a swipe of my claws, I defeated him. He burst into golden sparks and was gone.
Zozo!
I looked and saw my mother coming toward me. She'd managed to escape. Mom, did he hurt you?
I'm fine. I'm so proud of you. Look at how strong you are. You look so much like your father did. I'm so glad you're okay.
Come on, Mom. Let's get you back home.
Oh, and before we go, I found this while I was imprisoned. I figured you might want it.
It was a golden key. On days 85 to 89, my mom and I arrived back at the base. Everyone was so happy to see my mom, and they ushered us over to the statues.
We almost finished it while you were gone, but we wanted you to put on the finishing touch.
Freddy handed me a few glowstone blocks, which I added to my dad's statue, completing his fire breath. It was perfect. And I have more amazing news, Freddy! The golden key my mom found at the henchman's base. I think it's literally the key to getting into the Amethyst Crystal Cave. The henchman and Horus must have known that the Amethyst Sword could foil his grand plan. That's why he had the key to unlock the cavern. I've got to get over there now! I rushed out of the base toward the desert. As I arrived at the door, I felt my heart leap. This is it! It's finally coming together! I used the golden key to open the door. Here I go! I made my way down the dark tunnel, which eventually opened up into a cave system. Inside were hundreds of glowing amethyst crystals, all being watched over by a warden. This isn't going to be easy. I got right behind it, and before it knew what was happening, I let out a large burst of golden fire. He let out a terrible scream, but he didn't turn into a statue. I took a swipe at him with my claws instead. This time, he screamed in agony. I kept swiping, avoiding his blows as best as I could. My hearts were dwindling, but after just a few more moments, the warden was gone. Yes! I hurried and collected as many amethyst crystals as I could hold before hurrying out of the cavern. Time to end this, Horus. On days 90 to 94, I exited the cavern, blinking in the sunlight.
Nice to see you again, little Hydra.
I looked and saw Horus standing right in front of me. I was about to swipe him into oblivion when his magic froze me in place.
Please, none of that. I just want to talk.
I stared at him. What could you possibly want to talk to me about? You've gone out of your way to torture me.
Don't you see, Hydra? I have strengthened you. You have become the golden Hydra of the prophecy. All thanks to me.
You had nothing to do with it.
Oh, don't even think for a minute that you would have accomplished anything without me. I made sure that you had difficulties so that you could learn. I made sure that you would eventually get the potion that would bring you to full power.
You sabotaged your own henchman?
He was disposable at best. But think of what we can do together, little Hydra. We can rule this land together. Of course, it'll need to be destroyed before it can be built back up. But we can accomplish that if you follow me.
Never.
This is your last chance. Watch the world burn around you before I possess your mind or willingly serve me.
I hissed at him.
Very well.
Somehow, Horus made all my amethysts that I'd worked hard and suffered to collect all disappear.
Be sure to be at your best by the full moon, little Hydra. In the meantime, enjoy my wrath.
I heard Horus laughing, and then it all went dark. On days 95 to 97, I woke up to pitch black. Where am I? Horus must have buried me underground. I looked at what I assumed was up and started to dig. It wasn't too deep, but by the time I saw sunlight, I was exhausted. I'm getting really tired of him. I tried to catch my breath, but then I noticed a note on the ground next to me. It read,
"Say goodbye to your honorable friend."
My blood turned cold as I raced toward Puck's dungeon. No, please don't let me be too late. When I got there, the whole place was demolished. I looked around, hoping to find anything, and I heard a groan from beneath some rocks. Puck! I moved the rubble and saw him on the ground. He was in really bad shape.
I guess Horus figured out who my sources were.
You're going to be okay, Puck. Let me help you up. Puck coughed.
Don't worry about me, Zozo. Go, protect your mom and your friends. He's heading to your base next.
And with one last breath, Puck the Honorable passed. I let out a giant roar as I mourned my friend, but I had to get to my base. I needed to stop Horus before he caused any more destruction. On day 98, I arrived too late. What was once my base was now in ruins. I ran around frantically. Mom, Lex, Bradley, Freddy! I didn't hear anyone answer. I slumped down and was about to give up when I heard a small voice.
Zozo?
I looked up and saw my mom limping towards me. Freddy limped alongside her. Mom! Freddy! Where is everyone else?
A lot of them didn't make it out, Zozo. Bradley and Lex managed to run and hide with me, but nobody else was fast enough.
We're lucky to be alive.
I let out another loud roar in agony. Puck was gone. All the villagers and tortoises were gone. I had tried so hard to protect everyone, and I had failed. I felt my whole body slump.
Hey, everything is going to be fine. Do you know why?
Why?
You are the Golden Hydra, and you are going to put a stop to Horus and his destruction.
Mom slipped me something. It was a key.
Horus dropped this before he left. It must be to his base.
I looked at the key in shock.
You are going to get back your amethyst crystals, finish the amethyst sword, and you will put a stop to all of this. Promise?
Promise. On day 99, I headed to Horus's base. It had massive black walls, and inside there was a huge tower raising high into the sky. I carefully entered the front wall gate. To my surprise, the courtyard was completely empty. I explored a bit and located a back door, probably for the goons, and I used the key to get inside. Freddy, you're the best. I snuck up the passageway and went to open the door to the main chamber. A Dread Knight spotted me immediately.
It's the Golden Hydra.
I quickly took him out. So much for being stealthy. I was a Hydra after all, a golden one at that. It was hard to keep a low profile. I opened the chamber, and to my surprise, only Horus stood inside, smiling at me.
Did you really think it would be that easy, Hydra? But at last, you're a day early. What exactly was your plan here?
Give me back the amethyst crystals, and nobody has to get hurt, Horus.
No.
I was prepared this time. I smacked him back with my claws and grabbed for the crystals. Before he knew it, I was down the passageway.
Stop that, Hydra!
I made it back to my base and hurriedly crafted the amethyst sword out of the 2 amethyst crystals and a stick. It was time to defeat Horus once and for all. On day 100, I made my way back to Horus's base. Perfect, a dramatic ending, just like I wanted. Horus was waiting for me outside. Are you ready for your reign of terror to finally end, Horus?
You're exactly where I want you, Zozo. When this battle is over, I'll take control of your body and use you as just another tool to take over this world.
Not if me and the amethyst sword have anything to say about it. This time, I wasn't playing around. He fired a magical energy blast at me, but I was so strong now, I tanked it and ran right in.
Oh, no, I may have made an error here.
But the time for talk was over. I ran in and hit him with the amethyst sword again and again, weakening him a little more each time. He unleashed his guards on me, but they were taken care of quickly. Many sword swings later, when Horus was on the edge of defeat, I stopped attacking and stepped back for a moment.
You can't win! I am an all-powerful sorcerer!
Silence is golden, Horus! With one blast of my golden spit, Horus was turned into a harmless golden statue forevermore. At long last, the creatures of the overworld can breathe easy again.